Joining us, political analyst, and to our left we've got Rahul Verma, Rashid Kidwai joins us, and we've got Sanjay Kumar from CSDS. So this is really as sharp a political panel as can be, and I'm discounting myself. And no, I'm keeping Rajdeep there, discounting myself, but a very sharp panel on this. So what we'll do for a moment is take you through the methodology adopted by Sea Voter for this poll, and then we'll go state by state in getting you the results of this poll. So this Mood of the Nation opinion poll was done between the 15th of December and the 28th of January. Largely, some polling happened later when there were specific changes like there were in Bihar, but largely between the 15th of December and the 28th of January. For this poll, the sample size was 35,801. But Sea Voter, as our viewers know by now, has a continuing tracker sample. So that adds 1,13,000 interviews to the Mood of the Nation sample, giving us a robust sample size of 1,49,000 for this sample and the tracker that's been going on between the 15th of August and the 31st of January. So there's a 3% plus minus margin of error at the micro level, and Yashwant claims he has a 95% confidence level. So that said, Rajdeep, let's now dive straight into the numbers for Uttar Pradesh.
Okay, let's go state by state, and we are starting with the state of Uttar Pradesh, because remember, generally it's believed all roads to Delhi lead through Lucknow. That certainly to some extent has been the case in 2014 and 19, given the domination that the BJP has had in the Hindi heartland. But let's take a look at what the Mood of the Nation poll is saying. First, let's take a look at vote share, because vote share will give you a sense of where the parties stand. And what we are predicting at the moment is a 52% vote share for the NDA, which means that the NDA is actually up from last time. They're even higher than they were in 2019 when they did remarkably well in that election. The India Alliance, and presumably this India Alliance includes the Congress, the SP and the RLD as of now. The RLD could well switch sides. Therefore, at the moment, they're at 36%, up 10% last time, but they have lost the BSP, which was in 2019 with the Samajwadi Party, and others 12%, primarily the Bahujan Samaj Party. But the key thing is, how does this translate into seats? That's the difficult task that Yashwant has undertaken. The seats, what would the seats be in the 80-member UP Assembly? And just take a look at that. The NDA goes up from 64 to 72 out of 80. It's a gain of 8. So NDA, BJP holding rock solid in the saffron heartland in a way. The India Alliance 6 to 8, so only a marginal increase, and that's divided between 1 for the Congress and 7 for the Samajwadi Party. Others are completely wiped out. The 10 last time were the BSP. So Rahul, the first big numbers clearly show the BJP holding its own in what's become its bastion.
And if the BJP is already at 72 in the way the state plays right now, Yashwant, the most important question is, now that RLD is very clearly in talks with the BJP, if Jayant Chaudhary was to join the NDA, where could that 72 reach?
Well, I mean, of course, it will impact minimum number of 2 seats for sure. But it's not just about how many seats that RLD is contesting and they are likely to win. It's also about the overall impact of the Jat voter consolidation in the entire Western UP, and not just Western UP, but across in other states which have a significant number of Jat voters. So that, having said that, Rahul, let me be upfront about this one. And me and Raj discussed this so many times about the numbers of the seats and everything. You know, I am a conservative pollster, and I find it very difficult to tell people that, you know, why are these others or other NDA numbers or non-NDA numbers coming up even when you have NDA or BJP crossing 50% of vote? That is simply because of the probability. When you say any party is there in that particular region, even if you cross 0 to 1, in UP with 6 regions, you end up with 0 to 6 kind of range. So it's also a question of probability. Otherwise, this number with this kind of a vote share could end up anywhere.
So you're saying it could be 80 also?
I will not say it cannot happen.
No, because he's sitting on 72 and he says, I'm conservative.
No, it is a possibility. You know, it can't be ruled out. But let's, you know, we are T20 style today. So I'm going to ask all our panelists quick responses, because we are going through the entire country. Raj and Gappa, Uttar Pradesh, as I said, the road to Delhi leads through Lucknow. If this is the result of Lucknow, clearly the keys to Delhi are in the hands of Prime Minister Modi.
No doubt Uttar Pradesh is the bellwether state, and if it is showing the kind of results that the India Today C voter poll is showing, the BJP is on its way. I would only like to point out a little bit of history because Prime Minister Modi had said he'd want to win 405 seats and for the BJP 370 seats. So if you look back, the only person who did that was Rajiv Gandhi, who won 405, and of course subsequently it became 414 when Assam and Punjab were added on. And at that time in UP, that was the undivided UP, I think the Congress won 82 out of 85 seats. It was a sweep. Now, if we are going by these figures, and they've touched 50%, I'm sure the other pollsters would say that the BJP would require to max in Uttar Pradesh if it has to get its target of 370 that it wants.
Remember, those two elections are very different, Amitabh Tiwari, because the 84 election was held in the aftermath of the assassination of then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. It was an election won largely on the back of sympathy. Here is Prime Minister Modi, who's been in power for 10 times. This is not a empathy, sympathy vote. This is a performance vote. If you end up 72, or if Yashwant says could be even higher, that would be the most incredible performance imaginable.
Yeah, so if these numbers hold true, if you see whatever is BSP's loss of 10 seats is largely accruing into the tally of the BJP. BJP is gaining 10 seats at the expense of BSP. So if these numbers hold true, then what is clearly being shown is that it is largely a pro-incumbency vote. It is a pro-Modi vote, it's a pro-development vote, it's a pro-vote for his policies and the way he has handled the economy.
But are you surprised because Rahul Verma, Uttar Pradesh was for a long time, for about 30 years, completely fragmented. Now suddenly, since 2014, the BJP has come to dominate the state, 2 general elections, 2 assembly elections, and now you could have a 3rd general election. Is the BJP therefore entering into UP, much like it was in Gujarat, a completely dominant party, 50% more, 50% vote and more, suggests a dominant state?
Absolutely, Rajdeep. One reason for fragmentation in the 90s and early 2000s was that there were at least 4 credible players that were present. BJP, Congress, SP and BSP, the regional parties were very, very strong. Over a period of time, Congress declined and also BSP declined. So why Yashwant is saying that the numbers are conservative? Because this time BSP is moving out and they are still holding on to 10% or some vote share there, which means that actually the numbers could be much more than 75, even touching 70.
No, but here's the thing. It reflects the continuing trend of elections becoming bipolar. Remember, the BSP, according to Yashwant's analysis, is projected to come down from 19% vote share last time to 8% this time. That's 11% down. And this is a party which in 2007 had won 200 plus seats. So that just shows how the BSP has ceded ground to now become a rump. 8% Sanjay Kumar for the once mighty BSP just shows that for time to come, elections in UP will be BJP on the one side and Samajwadi Party on the other, with a much weaker Samajwadi Party against a much stronger BJP.
Rahul, we need to understand why elections are becoming bipolar not only in UP but in Bihar and many other states. Because I get a sense that the entire election now is being contested in the name of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. I don't see this election as a contest between Rahul Gandhi and Narendra Modi or Narendra Modi versus any other leader. It is a referendum on how do you rate the performance of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So people are divided on 2 axes, pro-Modi, anti-Modi. And you see the election becoming bipolar on this, not on the issues, but largely on this factor. If you are on pro-Modi side, you tend to align, your party tend to align with NDA. And if you are anti-Modi, you tend to align with the UPA. Or if you're not able to align with the UPA, then you go alone. But that is what is happening in UP.
But where does this lead, therefore, the India alliance, Rashid Kidwai? Because you've got a situation where you are tying up with the Congress and Samajwadi Party tying up. We still don't know how the seat distribution will take place. But when they look at these numbers, there'll be a sense of hopelessness almost, particularly if Jayant Chaudhary also leaves the alliance. Even if Mayawati, was to come on their side, which seems unlikely in a few weeks' time, either way, India Alliance is starting this race with one hand tied behind its back.
Yes, Rajdeep, there is a total sense of despondency, but I still think Mayawati is the biggest insurance policy that BJP has in Uttar Pradesh. Imagine this 8-10% vote going to, India Alliance would have made material difference. And second thing is how many, Gandhis, three Gandhis, Rahul, Sonia and Priyanka, how many of them are going to be in fray? Because unless they contest, and same applies to Samajwadi Party, Akhilesh Yadav and Dimple Yadav and all those people, credible people.
No, what's your sense? Will any of the Gandhis contest now? Given these numbers?
I think they are looking for Rajya Sabha route. At least one of them will get into Rajya Sabha.
No, but I don't agree with Rashid Kidwai. He says BSP joining the India Alliance makes a difference. Even if I add 36 and 8, that's 44. Up against 51 for 52 for the NDA, it still leaves them 6 short.
No, but
so even if there is perfect transfer of votes, even if there is perfect transfer of votes, which we saw in the last elections when they were both stronger in the BJP, not as strong, it still didn't make a difference.
Look, Rahul, BJP is the dominant party of UP. There's no doubt about that. And all the other parties are basically trying to compete for that same anti-BJP vote that exists. So even if they come together, they're actually only consolidating the anti-BJP vote. The BJP vote itself, once it's crossing 50%, even if it was 48% tomorrow, they would still be well over 60 as they were in 2019. So I think...
And Rahul, we are not factoring in the Ram Lahar, which is there. There is a lot of... Why people are shifting? Because they think that there is going to be a huge, consolidation in favor of BJP in Uttar Pradesh. And
now,
that
Salman, so this was a cricket match and the BJP ends up 72 out of 80 in the first state, and the projection across our table of really sharp political minds is that it could actually even be more. Then, the Congress and the India Alliance are out of the race even before the race has begun. Shehzad can say, okay, thank you very much, I don't need to do the talking. Modi is doing the talking for me.
Rahul, no game is over till it is totally over. So I know this is a very disappointing save for the India Alliance, but I must say that despite all the advantages that the Prime Minister and Amit Shah and BJP have built up over these 10 years or so, they're still pretty much at 50%. The opposition has not been able to come together as we need to defeat this power so far. But the election is not over. The election is going to be contested in UP and all over the place. And by the way, I know you people said something about the performance. This is a performance election. If this is a performance election, I want to ask you. I want to ask the people of UP, for example, that until 2014, UP's economy was larger than Tamil Nadu's economy. Now, 10 years later, and most of that is under, well, all of it is under Prime Minister Modi, and most of it is under Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath. Why is the UP economy now smaller than the Tamil Nadu economy? What has changed? Now, at the national level,
we are doing a T20 style analysis, so we want 1 point at a time. You made your point. Let Shehzad Poonawala now respond. Shehzad, the fact is that UP is seen now as a dominant party state. Do you give credit to the Modi factor, the Upyogi factor, a combination of both? The fact that the double engine there seems to be really working at the moment.
Rajdeep, I give credit to 3 factors, and let me complete my answer. 1 is Ram Lala, 2 is Geeta, and 3 is PD. And let me complete. Ram Lala means Rashtriya Suraksha, Mahila, Labharti, Leadership, and Arthvyavastha. Geeta means growth, information, innovation, infrastructure, technology, and Atmanirbhar Bharat. And PDA means performance, delivery, and aspiration. Today, Rajdeep, Modi ji and Yogi ji have converted the vocabulary of people like you from anti-incumbency to pro-incumbency, where even the most critical cynics like Yogendra Yadav and Rajdeep Sardesai in the Democratic newsroom also have to say that BJP ko सबसे ज्यादा नंबर मिलेंगे ही. This kind of conversion happens when time after time the people see the leadership and the performance of the party on the ground and overall, because we have a mission and a vision. We are not people of commission, corruption, ambition and family profession, and therefore I give credit to Ram Lala, Geeta and PDA.
I love his acronyms. He's going to go very far in politics, given those acronyms. Mr. Modi has clearly got a few bucks in the party who know how to use acronyms rather well.
What I want to do now is play out a small excerpt from a show we had earlier today from Lucknow, where we spoke to voices on the ground, trying to get a sense of the pulse in Uttar Pradesh. So here are some excerpts from the Mood of the Nation poll from Uttar Pradesh from earlier today.
Joining you from the city of Lucknow, and once again, if political cliches could hold true, nothing.
विपक्ष की जल गई है एकता की रस्सी, इसलिए भाजपा यूपी में जीतेगी 80 में 80।
मुझे लगता है यहाँ पर बैठ के लच्छेदार बातें करना और थोड़ी बहुत शेरो शायरी कर लेना एक चीज है। आप धरातल पर आके असलियत देख लीजिए।
हम पूरे विश्वास के साथ कह रहे हैं कि कांग्रेस पार्टी का उत्तर प्रदेश में खाता नहीं खुलने देंगे।
युवा चाहता है रोजगार, और रोजगार के नाम पर आप कहते हैं पकौड़े तल लो।
केवल भारतीय जनता पार्टी है जो बढ़ती हुई दिखाई दे रही है, बाकी सारे राजनीतिक दल आपको गिरते हुए दिखाई दे रहे हैं।
आप सबके अकाउंट में 15 लाख आ गए, 2 करोड़ बेरोजगार मिल गया, नहीं मिला।
और जब अलायंस करना था ना, तब राहुल जी के प्रोजेक्शन के लिए उनकी एक यात्रा प्लान कर दी गई, और जहाँ जहाँ चरण पड़े राहुल के ताता बंटाधार हुआ। जैसे जैसे यात्रा प्रारंभ हुई, एक एक करके अलायंस लगातार छूटते जा रहे हैं।
Shouldn't the India Alliance actually look at bringing in Mayawati, because the 8% vote share could also, she might not win a single seat.
As far as Behan Mayawati is concerned, I think it's really up to her what she would want to do.
370 हम कह रहे हैं क्योंकि 370 हमने हटाई है।
I want to come now to the state of Punjab, and just keep in mind that the numbers that you're about to see assume that the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress will find a way of fighting together. But this is a state where AAP and Congress are 1 and 2, and whenever two parties are 1 and 2, they typically find it very difficult to be able to distribute seats amongst themselves. Between 2 and 3, it's much easier than it is between parties that are 1 and 2. But since that's the way it is seeming on the surface, that's the calculation that we're about to show you. So here are the numbers for Punjab. I'm going to start by taking a look at the vote share numbers first. The BJP had 10% vote share in the previous Lok Sabha elections. That's now projected to go up to 17. That's 7% up. The Aam Aadmi Party had 7% vote share in the last Lok Sabha elections. That's now projected to go up to 27. That's 20% up from the last time. The Congress had 40% vote share in the last elections. That's now projected to come down to 38. That's 2% down from the last time. The Akalis had 28% vote share. That's now projected to come down to 14, a loss of 14% for the once formidable Akalis. Let's take a look at how this converts into seats. So on your screen right now, for the 13 seats of Punjab, here are the C-Voter India Today Mood of the Nation projections. C-Voters projecting that the BJP is likely to stay at 2 seats. They're likely to stay at 2. What's gone out from the NDA kitty there are the Akali seats. The AAP is expected to be at 5 seats. That's up 4 from the last time if we see the party-wise breakup of these seats. The Akalis were at 2. That's likely to come down to 1. So the BJP holds on to its 2 seats. The AAP goes up from 1 to 5. Remember, in the first election they fought in 2014, they had 4 seats. So they go up to 5 this time. The Congress at 5. They were 8 last time, so they're down 3. And the Akalis are at 1, down 2. Now what could change potentially, Yashwant, is if at the last moment the Akalis and the BJP are able to tie, because behind the scenes there's a lot happening. It's not firm, finalized, both sides haven't decided. The Akalis we know are keen, the BJP is 50-50, wishy-washy, but that can change anytime. And if that changes, how does that potentially change these numbers?
Of course, I mean that would be having some impact for sure, because I guess that between the Akalis and the BJP, even though there has been quite a lot of bad in the recent years, as far as the core voting is concerned, they are pretty much supplementary in nature. The core has been anti-Congress vote at large, which the Akalis and the BJPs have been tending together. So this separation might have split it vertically, because BJP ran away with the Hindu votes and Akalis were with their Panthik votes. But if they come together, definitely that will have an impact. But it will not be the same kind of seat sharing, Rajdeep, that is for sure, because wherever BJP is going back with their old allies, the seat sharing equation is no more the same, which was defined by Vajpayee and Advani.
But you know, this is a fascinating state, Raj Chengappa, because the alliances have changed dramatically in the last few years. The BJP and the Akalis were together. AAP versus Congress was the battle of Punjab. They've now come together. They may not have chemistry on the ground, Do you really believe that this AAP-Congress alliance will work in the end and actually see the arithmetic benefits that this poll is suggesting? Or do you believe in the end it'll be very difficult for AAP and Congress to actually fight Punjab together, which may be another twist to these numbers?
It's my favorite state since I was there as editor-in-chief of the Tribune. But I think here, let's take Sanjay's argument of brand Modi and a referendum of that. How much of that is going to play out in Punjab? It never happened when Rajiv Gandhi, it was very troubled state, of course, at that particular time. So the Congress never benefited at that time because of the wave that happened. So if you look at it currently, if the AAP and the Congress get together, they're a decisive force. Have they got together? Have they agreed on anything? That is not to be seen as yet.
No, but can I counter what you're saying to say that it's almost impossible? How will you decide if you're 1 and 2 in that state? On a drawing board, you can say whatever you want. Given the problems in Uttar Pradesh, given the problems in Bihar, it is very difficult. In Delhi, they may still have some kind of an arrangement. In Punjab, they'll ultimately come to the conclusion that it's better for us to fight separately.
No, they may well do that, Rahul. They actually seem to believe that that might even work to their favor. That, you have a multi-corner.
No, so I'm saying then the premise of the poll for Punjab is flawed because it hypothetically assumes that they're fighting together.
Yeah, sure. But the one thing about Punjab, to take from what Raj Chengappa said, and that's the fascinating part of Punjab, Sanjay Kumar, it's the one state in North India where the Modi wave has not worked both in 2014 and 19. Look at both these elections. The Congress, if there's one state in northern India, held its own in the last 10 years, it's Punjab. You think the politics of Punjab, therefore, is very distinct and different from the rest of the country in a way?
Two factors. Even though the political clout of Shiromani Akali Dal has come down, but look at the states where regional parties are strong. BJP has not found it easy to make inroads. That's one case why in Punjab BJP has not been able to make inroads. Second, BJP has been contesting in Punjab in alliance with Akalis. So Akalis have been a dominant player. That was a difficulty in the Bihar also for the first couple of decades. Also, look at the social composition of Punjab. In Punjab, we have a very large majority of Sikh voters. So if you look at BJP's popularity, Narendra Modi's popularity, there is some difference if you look at among the Hindus and people belonging to different other religions. That is another factor why BJP has not been able to penetrate in Punjab the way they have been able to expand in other parts of the
India. But the calculation in the BJP and Shehzad can build on this. I'll also show you the projection for Chandigarh, which is expected to go to the BJP. It's an urban pocket, and we saw the mess in the mayoral elections recently, but the poll is predicting that Chandigarh goes to the BJP. The problem is both the Home Minister and the Prime Minister have often say that they're very emotionally invested in the Punjab story. And yet on the ground we see, especially amongst the Sikhs, this pushback. So how does this square? The fact that the Prime Minister himself feels so emotionally close to the Punjabi community, to the Sikh religion, and yet there is a lot of antipathy and a very strong pushback.
Rahul, look, what Sanjayji was saying just now, that since we were the younger brother in the alliance, and that alliance was not purely for political reasons, it was also for ensuring the message of Sabka Saath and Samajik Sohar between the Hindu-Sikh community. And therefore, we sacrificed a lot of our space and a lot of the other things also while we were in that alliance. For the first time now, we are finding our feet in Punjab, not just in urban areas, but also in the rural pockets. And therefore, this vote is a vote of expansion. It is a vote of credibility that will keep increasing over the few period of years. And look at the outreach that Prime Minister Modi has done towards the Sikh community. It is not a political outreach, it is an emotional outreach, whether it is celebrating the Prakash Parbs of the great gurus of the Sikh community, whether it is celebrating Veer Balas Divas, or whether it is reaching out to various sections, whether it is the FCRA clearance on Harminder Sahib, langars that we are making GST free. So I think there is a concerted effort. Not everything is done only for political purpose. Some things are beyond politics. For Rashtra Niti, we have done a lot of things, and I think that is also being reflected because Punjabis are very patriotic people. They are ready to sacrifice their lives for the nation. They have contributed so much to the armed forces, and I think you'll see, because the kind of mismanagement Aam Aadmi Party is doing. Look at the Nasha Mafia, look at the kind of corruption that is taking place. I'm not saying this. Mr. Sidhu is saying about the corruption. And also the alliance between Congress and
here
AAP.
In Punjab, Amitabh Tiwari, is if they fight separately, this calculation, and you're seeing the India numbers projected by C voter to zoom up in terms of vote share very substantially, all that is based on the assumption that they fight together. If they don't fight together, And if this is the base where Akalis are at 27% vote share, up 20 from the last time, Congress is at 38% vote share, down 2 from the last time, up at 27, up 20, Congress at 38, down 2, Akalis at 14, down 14. How could Punjab read in the absence of this alliance?
See, Punjab is the hotbed of anti-center politics. So even if AAP and Congress do not form an alliance, and unless the Akali Dal forms an alliance with the BJP, these numbers could still hold. So unless the Akali Dal ties up with the BJP, I don't see a substantial difference in the numbers, because the politics itself there is anti-center. Hindu being the majority in the rest of the country, but being a minority there complicates the political dynamics there.
And you know, it's interesting to look at this, because if we turn to the next state, because I think these two states reflect just how India's map is so complex. Just turn to Delhi, not too far away from Punjab, where again the Congress and the AAP are trying to tie up. Just look at how the numbers stack up in Delhi. 7 seats on offer, but the national capital is often a barometer of what tends to happen across North India. Take a look at vote share. As per this, in Delhi, even with the Congress-AAP alliance, you have 57% vote share going to the BJP and 40% to the India alliance of the Congress and AAP together, others 3. How does this then translate into seats? 7 seats in Punjab, in Delhi, all 7 went last time, remember, to the BJP. All 7 will go back to the BJP as per this poll. So that takes off from what Amitabh Tiwari just said. Punjab is almost sui generis, Rahul Verma. There, if the Congress and AAP tie up, they do very well. They tie up in Delhi, where the AAP is in power again, and yet it's a clean sweep for the BJP. Does this reflect urban mindsets and Delhi mindsets versus the anti-center mindset, as Amitabh put it about Punjab?
Yes, a little bit, Rajdeep. That Punjab, the demographic composition is different. It has always had an uneasy relationship with the center, even when Congress party was in power in 1970s and 80s. But you have to also understand that this alliance in both Delhi and Punjab is not easy. Because in Punjab, Aam Aadmi Party feels that they can gain these seats even without the Congress. So you've seen Chief Minister of Punjab making statements that we don't need to have an alliance. And in Delhi, even if they come together, they will not be able to make any dent.
No, but why not? Why, you know,
the reason is that Congress
explain why the Aam Aadmi Party in 2 consecutive elections has swept Delhi, but the BJP has swept Delhi in Lok Sabha.
So BJP continues to hold 40% vote share in Delhi, no matter which election is happening. Congress gets 25% when Lok Sabha happens, but when Vidhan Sabha happens or MCD happens, Congress comes down below 10%. So that entire Congress vote, which is in Lok Sabha with them, actually shifts with the BJP. So AAP continues to be around 45 to 50% in assembly elections. But in Vidhan Sabha, BJP gains.
No, but my view is it's the Modi factor. You know, what seems to be is that the Lok Sabha elections, you look at Narendra Modi. When you're fighting a state election, you look at Arvind Kejriwal. That's happened 2 elections in a row. And it seems, as per your numbers, it's going to happen again.
It's a split vote, Rajdeep, and it's happening across India, across all the states, honestly speaking. Each and every state, if you look into the vote share of the last assembly and the last Lok Sabha in together, you will see somewhere between 10 to 25% of jump in favor of the BJP whenever the Lok Sabha elections are there. However, in case of Punjab, I must mention this because it's an important and critical point to add. In the last 10 years, in our daily tracker, there are only 3 states where Rahul Gandhi as an individual leader has scored over in popularity over Narendra Modi. 3 states all across India. One is Punjab, one is Tamil Nadu, and one is Kerala. And they have been like that. But one critical thing is, 10 years back, the gap between Rahul Gandhi and Narendra Modi was so huge in all these 3 states that it was a one-way traffic of sort. But over the 10 years, this gap is reducing and reducing and reducing, and it used to be in double digits. Right now, it is in single digits.
But you know, the split vote, I think, Rahul, is going to become more and more important. Voters seeing Lok Sabha very different to Vidhan Sabha. And Salman shows that's your big problem in a way. In Delhi itself, in the heart of the national capital, even if you tie up with AAP, it's the BJP that sweeps the election. That suggests to me that that voter is giving a huge bump to the BJP the moment it's a Lok Sabha election and Mr. Modi is on the ticket?
No, I look at it a little differently. What I'm seeing is, if this data is correct, and I have no way of knowing whether this is or this is not, we'll find out during the elections. But the Congress vote share is coming up in Delhi because people see, many people remember the governance that Congress has delivered to this country. And that is why I think you see the vote share coming up when it comes to national level politics. Why that doesn't happen at when state level elections?
I don't know what you're saying, Salman Bhai. From 23, it's gone up to 25. That's up 2 up. From 18 is down to 15. That's down 3. BJP was at 57. It's at 57. So you're clutching at straws, really.
Rahul, I was talking about the comparison with assembly elections. Somebody said that during assembly elections the vote share goes down, and during parliamentary elections it has come up. So clearly people do remember that the UP at times are very good, and why should they not? I mean, the per capita income of this country...
No, 1 minute, sir. You're still 32% behind the BJP. Rashid Kidwai, this is the problem the Congress is facing. When it comes to a Lok Sabha election, Mr. Modi is on the ticket. It appears that the Congress is not preferred to the BJP. We've seen that. Direct BJP-Congress fights, the Congress loses out. Now, even in an alliance with AAP, they may lose out in Delhi.
Yeah, but Rajdeep, Delhi's story is very simple. It is due to Muslim vote that swings. In assembly election, Muslim vote tends to favor Arvind Kejriwal's party, and in Lok Sabha election, it favors the Congress. So that is why there is a kind of mismatch. And when we talk about vote share, we must look at the each and every constituency profile, and that's where it matters. So even if some parties maybe 40% plus, another party is 57%, in 7 Lok Sabha seats, the results may be slightly different. So vote share.
So you make an important point. In a seat like, say, Chandni Chowk or in East Delhi,
absolutely,
where the minorities are in big numbers, Rashid Kidwai's argument is, and that's where we can go across to Sanjay Kumar, that as far as the state is concerned, it may still be 57 versus 25 and 13, but in that concentrated pocket, it may help this alliance, if it comes together, put a tighter fight in 2 seats, at least East Delhi and Chandni Chowk.
This is a possibility, Rahul. I don't rule out this possibility. But if we are looking at on one side 57 and on the other side it is, say, in the 40s, 42, 45, 46, this is huge gap, makes it impossible that there are chances of close contest or a reversal in a couple of constituencies.
The real story is the BJP, which gets about 38 to 40% in Vidhan Sabha, goes up to 57 in Lok Sabha. That's the story. Modi,
that's the story for Vidhan Sabha election, not for a Lok Sabha election.
Sir, the point is the Modi factor, Rahul, is giving the BJP an 18 to 20% jump. That's the story. From 37-38%, where it loses to the Aam Aadmi Party, which gets over 50%. So the Aam Aadmi Party is clearly seen as a Delhi regional party, and the BJP in a Lok Sabha election takes it. Whatever the minority vote may get consolidated, but the majority vote in Delhi is going firmly towards the BJP for the Lok Sabha. 6 months later, have a Vidhan Sabha election, and the situation at least twice before has been very different.
This time around, we don't know.
So I think that's
Rahul,
the significance.
wanted to make a quick point. Yes.
2 things. One, the minority factor will come into play only assembly elections, where the assembly constituencies are smaller, and then you have enough number which can swing vote. Even in Chandni Chowk, you don't have 50% Muslim population, which can suddenly turn the seat.
And besides, after delimitation in 2008, the entire composition of these seats have changed. Actually, in Delhi, there is not even a single Lok Sabha seat now which can say that, okay, minority votes are the decisive vote here. Yeah. Earlier, the Chandni Chowk, before till 2009 elections probably, that was the probability, but after 2008, delimitation.
No, but in Delhi, if AAP and Congress are on the same ticket, it does make things more exciting.
It does. It does, certainly. Absolutely. It makes sense.
Still be 70,
but having said that, it's also the fact, Rajdeep, Sheila Dikshit ji was very clear, very clear, that if Congress has to revive, they have to make sure they do not go with Aam Aadmi Party. That's how.
Is also clear.
She has been very clear.
I really think, Rahul, the story which we must stress is this Modi factor. Because this kind of split verdict.
But you're sounding surprised about it.
No, because it's nowhere else in the world. You see, go across the world. A Republican state will vote for the Republicans, both for the Senate usually and for the presidential election. In India, you're seeing it now in 2 consecutive elections. For Delhi, we want Arvind Kejriwal, but upar hamare liye Narendra Modi. And you're going to see it across the country.
Because America doesn't have a Modi, that's why.
I don't think it's as simplified as that. I think the Indian voter has very consciously decided who I want for chief minister and who I want for prime minister. And I think it is fascinating because I don't think, as I said, I don't know any other country in the world where it happens.
No, we make too much out of this, and this is my personal opinion. There is only 15 to 20% of vote which swings here and there.
That's a lot.
No, but in only couple of states, except Odisha, except Delhi, do you see a split verdict of this kind?
Yes, Karnataka. You see Karnataka in election after election, you vote for one party in the Vidhan Sabha, you vote for another party in Lok Sabha. I'm willing to have a small wager that there'll be another half a dozen states where this will happen.
Can you bet like now, after Congress winning Karnataka in 2023, Congress is going to do same way as it done in 2019.
But I met a Maharashtra leader yesterday. He said, we have put all our eggs, a Maharashtra Congress leader, we have put all our eggs in Vidhan Sabha. I said, what about Lok Sabha? He said, Lok Sabha madhe Modi aahe. Please understand. That's how they are seeing it. You're the reality on the ground.
2019. Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh.
Let's come to Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan because this is a fascinating political adda, and if we go on, then we can be here all evening. So I want to come now to Madhya Pradesh and take you through the numbers. We need to just step on the pedal a bit so we can go, otherwise we'll be here all evening. So in Madhya Pradesh, the BJP had 28 seats. Apart from Chhindwara, they won 28 out of 29 seats. This time, they're expected to come down to 27. The India Alliance had 1, expected to go up to 2. This is as far as votes are concerned. 58% last time for the BJP, same this time. And the Congress's vote share, 35 last time, expected to be 38 this time. So basically, you're predicting that one other seat could possibly go away from the BJP and one extra seat could get added to the Congress. I want to quickly go across to Rajasthan as well. From Madhya Pradesh, we'll take vote share first. The NDA had 61% vote share, the BJP had 61% vote share, this time 59. The Congress had 34, this time 35. Let's quickly see how that converts into seats. No surprises here. If that's how big your lead is, 59 plays 35 in a bipolar election, it's a clean sweep. So they're holding on. Yashwant Deshmukh, 2 areas where they shouldn't lose. You know, all these complicated, really detailed, finesse, nuance graphics that we have on the election intelligence dashboard, they're not going to be of any use. If this is how one-way the traffic is, then what's the point of all the finessing?
Well, I was just trying to give what Rajdeep was saying. I will just give a term to it. I call it Modi dividend. There is a clear cut, on an average, 15 points Modi dividend as far as the Lok Sabha election is concerned. And the split vote, ironically, I coined that term in 2004 while explaining why Vajpayee's popularity did not translate into votes for the NDA in 2004, because there was a lack of a split vote. And since then, we have seen slowly and steady, the number has been increasing. While Rahul is correct that, in many of the states, it is not very clear-cut in that way, because in many states where BJP has been absent, their split vote also to take them across a threshold of 30% wouldn't come. Like, say, for example, Kerala. Kerala Vidhan Sabha election, BJP goes into single digits. In Lok Sabha election, they almost touch 20%.
But can I just make a point, and Raj, I want you to come in on this. When BJP swept states like Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh in 2019, we called it the Balakot bump. That post-Balakot, Mr. Modi had taken over the entire space. Now, even without Balakot, the fact is in both these states, the BJP is holding its own, sweeping Rajasthan as per this poll. 27 out of 29 in Madhya Pradesh. In Rajasthan, there was a close contest just a month ago. And yet now, Lok Sabha, it appears it's the BJP all the way. What explains it? So we can even throw Balakot probably out of the equation. Just say there is the Moditwa factor.
If you look at it, and if you ask somebody, even in Delhi or in Madhya Pradesh, who would you really want in the center? I mean, that's the question. And that answer is a very logical answer that voters would give. I would gather in Madhya Pradesh as well, who is the Congress projecting for them to vote for?
Even as Prime Minister?
As Prime Minister. Whereas you have Modi, and he has performed well. The state has rewarded him well. And I think here, if you look at it, just to make a larger point, there has to be a saffron wash, what I call a saffron wash, in about 6-7 states for the BJP to get to its 303 or 370. Madhya Pradesh is one of those states. It lost 1 seat last time. And there's a whole cluster of states where their vote percentage is 50% or more. I think, let's take the seats, 223 seats or so, where their margin is so big, over 5 lakhs or something, that they will win. Madhya Pradesh is one of those states that's there. So there are 2 points I'd like to make. One is what you were saying earlier, that the Modi factor will work very, very strongly to dispel any state kind of resistance that is building or any Congress support that could move towards Rahul or anything that's there. And 2, these are the kind of states where when we have 50%, opposition has no chance.
Sure, but Amitabh Tiwari, this comes back to the point which many people have been making, that the real battle for the opposition was to try and take on the BJP, where there's a direct BJP-Congress fight. 186 seats last time where there was a fight, the Congress won just 12. If these numbers are to be replicated, it once again shows where the Congress is the main opposition, i.e. Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, the BJP is the front runner, and you're seeing the Prime Minister in all his recent speeches not focusing on regional parties, targeting the Congress, the Kamzor Kadi, as the BJP sees it.
Yes, so one of the main reasons why BJP is again sweeping both these states is because it is facing Congress as the opposition, number 1. Number 2, the India alliance partners do not have a single vote in these 2 states. So there is no advantage to Congress of any India bloc formation because it does not get the reciprocity. And number 3 is that, as you said, the Modi factor, let's say. So 33% people, or rather 37% people, voted on the name of the PM face. So if you don't have a PM face, you are excluding 37% of the voters from the target segment.
These numbers leave the Congress party. They've lost Madhya Pradesh, they've lost Rajasthan Assembly election, they've lost Chhattisgarh. Now you've got a possible sweep as per this Mood of the Nation poll. Will it only further demoralize the Congress in the heartland?
Rajdeep, actually that's the real trouble with the Congress party, because Congress is strategist, and that includes Mr. Yogendra Yadav, a new addition in team Rahul Gandhi. And I heard, once he told you also in an interview, he seems to think that the, Congress will get 7, 8, 9 seats in Rajasthan, 5, 6 seats in Madhya Pradesh and in Chhattisgarh. So there is, he's converting that vote percentage, that 40% plus vote percentage
of the
Vidhan Sabha into Lok Sabha. And that is where I think there is a tactical error, but Rahul Gandhi is buying that. And India Alliance is buying that.
Salman shows this is the real problem in a way for the Congress party to revive itself. These are the states where you needed to focus upon in the last 6 months. You've lost Assembly, and now you could be wiped out in Lok Sabha.
Rajdeep, you are thinking that the only people who are fighting this election are basically Khargeji and Rahul Gandhi. We have leaders in our states. They're fighting elections. They're getting ready. So what will become evident later on is, in your own poll, we're seeing, say, for example, a bump of 3 percentage points for India Alliance, which is Congress in Madhya Pradesh, for example. What that tells me is that there is a solid base for the Congress party to build on. And from now until the elections, anything is possible. So, yes, the perception that is being built is that the Modi ji has won, everything is done. And by the way, yes, exactly, the PDA. Let me get to the PDA that my friend Shahzad talked about. The PDA is, what is it? It is propaganda. There is nobody who does propaganda more than Narendra Modi and the BJP. What does D stand for? D is destruction of relationships between brothers, Hindus, Muslims in this country. And what is A? A stands for arrogance of party, of money, of control of media. By the way, in the Hindi belt that we are talking about, how many newspapers carry any news from the Congress party? You know it and I know it. Hindi newspapers do not carry news of the Congress party. Meanwhile, not just regular news of the Prime Minister. Anytime the Prime Minister says something, he's plastered on television all the time. No wonder people think there is nobody but Narendra Modi, because that is what the media has been projecting. And by the way,
I will slightly beg to differ. I read the Dainik Bhaskar every morning, and the Dainik Bhaskar is one of the fine papers of the country that does give a lot of news, including news critical of the state governments in those states. So I don't think that's the reason.
So I have a few minutes left.
Okay, it's the biggest newspaper across these states, but go ahead.
We have a few minutes left, and I want to finish with the other states in North India. So I want to come to Jammu and Kashmir. In Jammu and Kashmir, the NDA is projected to have about 49% of the vote share. That's up 3 from the last time. Remember that a lot of this vote share for the BJP actually comes from the Jammu region, right? The India Alliance, which is Congress plus NC plus potentially PDP as well, at 36. That's down 3 from the last time. Others at 15. Converted into seats, Yashwant and his team are projecting that the NDA will be at 2, which is where they were last time. The India Alliance, which is all these 3 parties together, will be at 3. So basically the Valley seats going to the India Alliance, the Jammu seats, regardless of what happens in the Jammu region, going to the BJP. From there, let's come to Ladakh, where we saw a big protest recently, but despite that, Yashwant and his team are projecting that Ladakh will be with the NDA. From there, let's now come to Haryana. 10 seats in Haryana. The NDA Alliance, the NDA, which is BJP and JJP in Haryana, now expected to come down from 10 to 8, a loss of 2. The Congress, which lost even Rohtak last time, expected to go up from 0 to 2, up 2. Now, what makes you think that that is going to happen, given the fact that there is a 12% vote share gap, 50 plays 38 in Haryana?
Haryana don't count the vote share gaps as such, because you remember that Haryana Assembly election, out of the fact that BJP was having a almost 10% gap lead over the BJP, I kind of predicted that BJP will sweep, but it became a hung. Where on earth did you find that a party with a lead of 10% votes and still ended up in a hung assembly in Haryana? So there are 2 different kinds of Haryanas. Let's be very upfront about it. There are 2 different Haryanas. It's not regional. It's about the demographics of different seats. And the seats where it would be a Jat-dominated seats, they will be problematic for the BJP. The non-Jat seats would be easier for the BJP to win.
Let's come to Himachal. Himachal is the one state we haven't dealt with in the north yet. Himachal, 69% vote share for the BJP last time. This time expected to be 60%, down 9. The Congress at 27, expected to go up to 29. Remember, in Himachal, of the 4 seats, they are predicting that the BJP will pick all 4, the India Alliance none. The government in Himachal Pradesh at this time is the Congress government of Sukhwinder Singh Sukhu. Despite that, the Congress makes no gains in the Lok Sabha election in Haryana. Then the last state is Uttarakhand, where they're predicting just a small dip in the NDA's fortunes when it comes to vote share, from 61 to 59, down 2. India Alliance at 32, up 1. But when it comes to seats, all 5 seats predicted to go to the BJP.
Therefore, when you look at the big picture, from the first region that we've looked at, and this is, if you're a T20 match and it's power play and you've just finished 6 overs of the 20, think of North India like this. The projected seat share across North India. First, the vote share across North India. NDA 52%, India Alliance 38%, others 10. That's a 14% double-digit gap, and that includes, remember, Punjab, where the BJP is relatively smaller in terms of its vote share. How does this translate into seats, Rahul? And I think this is the story, and this has been the story not just now, but also 2014 and 2019. 154 of the 180 seats, as per the mood of the nation, done by C voter, go to the NDA, 25 to India Alliance. And remember, of these 25, majority again coming in from Punjab. Effectively, Rahul, that means it's almost game, set, if not match, just when you look at the North Indian numbers. I mean, it is almost impossible then for any side to match up when you lose so big in such a large part of the country. And it's been the northwest monsoon that has really won the BJP 2014 and 19.
We haven't come to the west yet. So since the northern torrential downpour in favor of the BJP, we'll show you what's happening in the east and what's cooking around the Bay of Bengal in the east, and what's happening in the west along the Arabian Sea. So all that coming up in the second hour of programming. We've dealt with the north, where if this was, Rajdeep said, a T20 match, this is just one-way traffic in this T20 match. You've got one team which is blazing away.
6 overs, 100 runs. 6 overs, 100 runs. 14 runs and over, or 15 runs and over. Which, really makes it almost impossible to come back.
And the thought that's coming to my mind, there you see my election intelligence dashboard working. So many great ideas, so many different data sets which we are cutting and dissecting and diving. I'm wondering what's the point? If it's all pointing in the same direction, then there's going to be a lot of effort which won't really yield too much results. But anyway, unlike the opposition, we need to fight on. We need to bring all those data sets together for you.
Welcome back to the Mood of the Nation. India Today's biannual survey with C Voter, which is telling you just ahead of the general elections what will happen in state by state to give you the big picture. Who's winning the battle for 2024?
We spent the first hour dealing with the North Indian states. We'll now switch to the South. And remember, Rajdeep, there's been this big North versus South effort that the opposition is making to try and build a narrative around how North Indian states are different from South Indian states. Do South Indian states truly feel and vote differently? We'll find out in this hour.
Remember, we've given you the North India numbers in the first hour. 154 of the 180 seats going to the BJP-led NDA. India Alliance just 25, others 1. So there's a North typhoon. What's happening in the South? Is there a hurricane the other way around? Let's start.
India mein cyclone aata hai, sir.
Cyclone, okay. The southern cyclone. Sorry, the southern cyclone and there are cyclones that take place in south of the country. We're starting with Karnataka, a state which, remember, went to the polls 7 months ago in Vidhan Sabha. And interestingly, this is what it's showing. In terms of vote share, the NDA is way ahead of the India Alliance. Remember, there's a Congress government in Karnataka. 53% at the moment to the NDA, 42% to the India Alliance, others 5%. This is identical in vote share compared to 2019. How is this translating into seats? Remember, 28 seats in Karnataka, 25 were won by the BJP last time. And we are saying the BJP is down just 1. 24 from, remember, 27 now includes the JDS, which has joined hands with the BJP there. So the BJP, JDS 24, that's down 3, but they're still holding its own. India Alliance just 4 in a state where the Congress is in power, and India Alliance means effectively Congress here, others 0. So you've got the first southern state giving bad news to the Congress party. And Raj Chengappa, it's your home state, so why don't you kick off? It suggests very different verdict to what we saw 7 months ago when the Congress won pretty decisively.
But let's say, Rajdeep, it's not surprising in Karnataka.
It's
if
history.
You recall, it started from Karnataka when Rajiv Gandhi swept Karnataka, winning about 26 out of 28 seats in 1984. Within 3 months, Ramakrishna Hegde was elected as Chief Minister. We're going to see the reverse polarization happening in this case, where for Karnataka they felt that the Congress was good, it was needed because the BJP government was not effective, and therefore the voters likely to tilt towards giving Modi the mandate, because he did campaign extensively there. He did push, if you remember the final phase, a certain percentage up over there. So Karnataka, and the other thing BJP has smartly done is tied up with the JDS. So the Vokliga vote, which would have made a decisive difference in Old Mysore and others, is getting split across these two. And secondly, if you look the way they have mended fences with the Lingayats, bringing Vijayendra, who's the son of Yedurappa, into the picture, the BJP has tried to cover its flanks. But let us see. I mean, Shiv Kumar is a wily contender. And you might see a little more seats going this way towards the Congress,
So, Yashwant, given the fact that Siddaramaiah and Shiv Kumar were in Delhi, and now you've got DMK ministers, you've got Pinari Vijayan trying to hit out at the center for not giving enough finances to the South, could that potentially become an issue? Because I was seeing in the South, there was a lot of traction, at least on social media, around this issue. As of now, it's just in its infancy. Could it build into a bigger headache for the BJP in the weeks to come?
Possible, because you see, without the JDS, BJP was in deep trouble. And they were pragmatic enough to take that much of arithmetic along. 6 months back, our same MOTM was showing BJP was in disarray because 10% approximately JDS votes of Vokaligas going along that. Now,
that's largely in Old Mysore.
Largely in Old Mysore. But the thing is that it's not just like, it might be decisive in Old Mysore, but there are pockets in across Karnataka, particularly in North Karnataka, where even 5 to 6% of Vokaliga votes shifting the BJP way will do the magic. However, the point which you are making is a North versus South divide, and the campaign that we are now watching in social media, that is an uncharted territory. Because I don't think any election whatsoever in the last 75 years, that play has been there. Barring the Tamil Nadu politics, outside that, the North-South divide was never played like that. So
that's important.
It's very important.
And this
to
issue is
understand.
still just about germinating.
Just germinating.
Amitabh
And we need to
Tiwari,
look
is there
into that.
seamless transfer of votes from the Janata Dal secular to the BJP, or do you think it might seem like that, but on the ground it's not so easy to transfer?
See, JDS vote is largely anti-Congress vote. See, the regional parties have been born out of anti-Congressism. And if you see the gap between India bloc and the NDA bloc, it's 11%, and out of which 9% is largely JDS. So JDS has pockets of influence in not only the old Mysuru, but even the Bangalore region. There, the implementation of schemes has been very good. And Congress is trying to project the Karnataka model as their model. But historically, BJP has been strong in Karnataka. From 1919 to 2019, they have won all the elections barring 1999. And surprisingly, BJP today, even in 2019, is the single largest party in South of India. Because South of India, there are regional parties who dominate and not the Congress party.
Sure, and that's also primarily because they won 25 seats in Karnataka last time. So Rahul Verma, let's come back to our debate that we had when we discussed Delhi. That the same voter who 7 months ago voted for Congress, possibly Siddaramaiah as CM, apparently 7 months later wants Modi as PM. As Raj Chengappa said, it's not unusual, but it seems to me the one state where it's pronounced in the south is in Karnataka.
See, Modi is one of the biggest vote aggregator of our time. There's no doubt about it. And he pulls BJP's vote. He's more popular than the party itself. If BJP gets around 37% vote, Modi's popularity rating would be around 45-50%. So that means PM pulls the party. What I was trying to differ with, that the segment which changes vote into election is smaller than the claim that we try to make.
Right.
And think of it, like Yashwant pointed this out, 6 months back, after the, so Karnataka elections happened in March and the last MOTN had happened around August. BJP was not doing that well. See, what BJP is doing in every state where they were having trouble is making efforts, right? In Karnataka, they tried to get JDS. They made a pact with Lingayat. On the other hand, and again, in Karnataka, what Amitabh had said in the beginning, the challenger is Congress. Congress seems not to be doing enough efforts in places where it's strong and credible.
No, but also imagine Sanjay Kumar, despite being the mighty force that they are at the moment, the BJP is willing to tactically cede ground everywhere. Yeah. Even in Western Uttar Pradesh, to a party like the RLD, to the JDS, where they think that they can make inroads in old Mysore.
And also, Rahul, they called the JDS, they called Kumaraswamy corrupt and a dynast. I mean, it was very clear, we will never touch the JDS. You'll recall
no, they called Mukul Sangma all kinds of things till the day the numbers came out. Then they changed their mind.
So the level of flexibility is very great. You know, Sanjay Kumar, because this was one of the states where there was a potential double-digit loss for the BJP.
So also look at the irony. The party that is supposed to have the ideology shows political dexterity. The party with no ideology, so to speak, in terms of certain core philosophical issues, is very rigid when it comes to tactical alliances. Sanjay Kumar.
I think the problem with the Congress is that it is slow in taking initiative. I would say even lazy in taking initiative. And if you look at the BJP on the other hand, even if they realize that they are going very strong in 2024, but they don't want to leave any chance. And my own sense is that if you talk to any BJP leader, they are pretty sure that they are winning 2024. But why they are entering into all these alliances despite ideological differences, despite having, given strong statement against the leader of those parties, is that they want to big win. They don't only want to big 2024.
Let's take that just a minute. I'll come to you, Rashid, the moment. Mohan Kumar Mangalam, national spokesperson of the Congress, Ajay Alok of the BJP. To both of you, first to you, Mohan Kumar Mangalam. There's so much of talk of the Karnataka model, that the Congress is saying the guarantees that we have given will win us an election. The numbers at the moment are showing, at least in a Lok Sabha, that's not working. I spoke to Mr. Siddaramaiah only yesterday. He seemed very confident. He also is playing this sort of discrimination against Karnataka card. But at the end of the day, our numbers are showing the BJP virtually repeating its performance of 2019, which would be hugely significant.
If your numbers do bear out, Rajdeep, it would be hugely significant, no doubt. But I think your survey was conducted between December, mid to January end, if I'm not wrong, which is at the height of the Ram Mandir propaganda craze that happened. And everything online, everything on TV, everything you turned on any channel was about the Ram Mandir. So I think definitely that sort of hysteria would have been captured somewhere in your survey. I don't think that they would find it easy to maintain that kind of momentum going forward. The other thing is the arithmetic of JDS plus BJP might look right, but I don't think the chemistry works at all. Just for example, Kumarasamy was in a rally with the BJP and was wearing a saffron shawl, I think, and the senior patriarch Devagowda came out and said that it would have been better had he been wearing JDS colors. So even something as small as that could be a flashpoint for misunderstanding between the two. The third thing is, you have this national narrative of the BJP that is against nepotism, dynastic rule, etc. So I'm wondering how they're going to reconcile that with pushing Vijayendra to the front as sort of the face of their party in Karnataka. You just can't reconcile the two in a national election. And like I said, alliances, whether that be with the JDS or with someone else, they don't really, vote transference is going to be one of the major issues to watch out for in there.
Ajay Alok, on Karnataka, the transferability of votes from the Janata Dal secular to the BJP and vice versa, the Congress would hope that that might not be easy. We saw in the last elections, but also the JDS's vote is typically an anti-Congress vote. It didn't happen when the Congress and the JDS were together. That's the concern. Will there be transferability of votes, or do you think, especially in Old Mysore, the BJP is now seeping the idea that it's okay to vote for the Kamal, and that helps the BJP in a 15-20 year horizon as well, build in the one region where they are weak in Karnataka?
See, one thing they are conveniently forgetting, that Congress snatched almost 6 to 7% of JDS votes in the last Vidhan Sabha election, but they were not able to snatch our votes. Our votes percentage was quite the same, 36.2, what we got and what we got in the last assembly election. And JDS vote bank significantly reduced from 19-20% to 13%, and this was majority or majority vote completely. It was minority vote which shifted to the Congress. Now there is a feeling of angst and there is a feeling of appeasement everywhere in Karnataka, and how the Karnataka government is performing since they have formed the government. So there is a natural chemistry and a bonhomie between JDS and the BJP, and BJP and JDS combined together, we are crossing 50% mark very easily.
Sir, with due regard,
and with the dynamism and with the momentum of the election going on.
Sir, with due regard, when you say natural chemistry, 7 months ago you were name-calling each other. I mean, you were calling him a dynast, you were saying their family is corrupt, the Gowda family is corrupt. This was, all your top leaders were going to Karnataka and saying this. So, is it that you've decided, Chunav ke liye kuch bhi, forget the past, we have to win 2024?
See, Chunav ke liye kuch bhi nahi. We are a political party and we have to look at the situation at the ground. And of course, when we are not with JDS, why we shouldn't highlight their problem and what their corruption issue was. The Congress will also do the same. Now since they are with us, we have to look at the ground reality of what kind of appeasement politics is being followed in Karnataka. And that,
are they now not corrupt? My direct question to you, is JDS not corrupt now? Is JDS now no longer dynastical?
Well, it is dynastical. As far as corruption the matter goes, it's all in the court. If they are convicted, they are corrupt. And JDS is dynastical, there is no doubt about it. We are having a strategic alliance with them. They are not merging into BJP.
Yes, yes. Rashid Kidwai, you wanted to make a point.
I think, Rajdeep, if Yashwant Deshmukh's figure come true in Karnataka, this would really reflect mood of the nation. Here is a government which is a proven track record, performing well. The Congress party is there on the ground. It's not a lazy party, at least in Karnataka. And in spite of that, if they lose badly, that will tell you a mood of the nation, a pro-Modi wave. Second thing is, it will also create a huge political upheaval. You remember, there was a lot of rivalry going on between Siddaramaiah, Chief Minister, and DK Shivakumar. And this will, become a big issue.
So are you saying the possibility of that government either falling as it did after 2019, or are you saying there could be a change in Chief Minister if these numbers hold?
All kind of possibilities are there. If this happens, then I don't see future for Siddaramaiah government there.
Okay. From Karnataka, let's come to Telangana. I'm just trying to keep it moving so we're able to give enough time, because otherwise we have very irate viewers in a particular state that this is how important our state is and you didn't give us enough time. So let's just try and keep it moving. Let's come to Telangana. We look at the vote share numbers for Telangana first and then the seat share numbers. So in Telangana, the BJP thinks they will be able to gain ground. They had 4 seats the last time. So when we look at the seat share for the BJP in Telangana, our poll is predicting 21%, just marginally up, 1% up from the last time. The big jump here is for the Congress, which was at 30% last time, this time at 41%, whereas the BRS and the other parties, which includes OVC, coming down to 38 from 50% the last time. So the big change really is the bump in the fortunes of the Congress and the decline in the fortunes of the BRS. How does this translate into seats? The only sliver of hope that we're seeing of all the numbers that we've put out so far in the Mood of the Nation opinion poll are actually coming from the 17 seats of Telangana, where the Congress's tally is expected to go up from 3 potentially to 10. That's up 7 from the last time. The BJP was at 4, could come down to 3. That's down 1. The BRS was at 9, could come down to 3. That's down 6. The AIMM stays where it was the last time. So OVC wins his seat. 3 to 10. Now, from what I know, Amit Shah and the BJP big guns will be figuring out some way कि इनको ये 10 नहीं देनी है, इनको कुछ नहीं देना है भाई.
You know, Rahul, the fact is honeymoons do exist. You know, I know that we are in a world where even living relationships are now looked at with a question mark, but a honeymoon is still fine.
In the poll, the honeymoon is on. Whether it will be on in May or not, we don't know.
This is the one state where at the moment, Yashwant's poll seems to suggest that the honeymoon is on. They just won an election, 2 months ago? And therefore, there isn't even enough time for any anti-incumbency as of now to build. That's the sense I get, Yashwant. Am I right? Because in the contrast with Karnataka here seems clear, where the Congress is still very much the new party that has just toppled a 10-year-old government.
I think Congress is reaping benefit of the popularity of Revant Reddy. I think what is happening here is that in absence of any national leadership popularity or popular national leadership, Congress has to now look around for the popularity of their local leaders, and this is one state where definitely the popularity of Revant Reddy is.
So why is it working in Telangana but not Karnataka?
It's not working simply because we have got 2 popular contenders, and Rashid Bhai might be able to tell this, but I am dead sure that the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka would not like Congress to win in Karnataka in Lok Sabha election, because if Congress loses Karnataka in Lok Sabha election, that paves the way for him to become the Chief Minister.
I think this is a bit unfair, because Mr. D.K. Shivkumar, and Rajdeep would correct me if I'm wrong, played a very big role even in Telangana, the amount of efforts he made there. So so far he's a disciplined soldier of the Congress.
But let's be very clear. It appears one regional party is the one completely getting squeezed out here. Chandrasekhar Rao has virtually gone dormant since that defeat. That vote, the Congress seems to have captured to a large extent if these numbers hold. And the BJP has its pockets in Telangana, but has not been able to truly spread across the state. Would that be a fair understanding, Amitabh, of these numbers?
Yeah, I see. In a largely bipolar national election, the regional parties tend to get squeezed out, and Telangana is one of the states. But it reveals a very fascinating insight: is that Congress, wherever is it gaining, it is gaining at the expense of regional parties, and that is the basic problem in that India alliance. It is gaining at the expense of BRS and not BJP. So how can it lead an alliance of regional parties where the regional parties have been formed out of anti-Congressism? TMC has come out of Congress. YSRCP has come out of Congress. SP has largely done anti-Congress politics.
But it also shows there is no substitute for hard work on the ground, Rahul Verma. The fact is the Congress in Telangana genuinely made an effort in the last 1 year or 18
last 6
months.
months.
Yeah, I mean 6
after
months.
the Karnataka
but to
election.
be fair, after Karnataka they got momentum, Rahul. But there was a sense that the Congress in Telangana was slowly at least, they were there on the ground. They were more visible after Karnataka, no doubt about that, Rahul. But I think, would it be right to say that there is a lesson there? You work hard on the ground, you throw up a leader like Revant Reddy who's able to connect, and maybe, just maybe, who knows where the future is? Telangana has been a Congress state. Indira Gandhi contested from Medak all those years ago. But at least in Karnataka and Telangana, you have a party on the ground.
We all are taught this lesson from childhood, that you have to work hard to get something, right?
Zameen par raho.
So it's not just for politics that you have to work hard. Sometimes, see, Congress also, not just because of the hard work in Telangana, but also some of the mistakes that BJP as well as DRS made in Telangana, which gave that kind of edge to Congress in Telangana. And of course, Revanta is now very, very popular. BRS is not picking up from the defeat it faced last time, and that's the advantage they are getting. And BJP has still not been able to figure out what its Telangana strategy is going to be, unlike in other states. So are they going to make efforts as they did in Karnataka or Maharashtra or Bihar in Telangana or not? So that still remains to be seen.
That's interesting, Raj Chengappa, because, you know, the BJP has also been caught in Telangana between, do we play OBC politics, do we project an OBC leader, what, you know, do we take strident anti-Muslim politics, will that take us forward? Somehow, for all the gains they made in Telangana 5 years ago, they've remained stagnant. One of the few states where they've not, you know, multiplied overnight.
I think the BJP is still shell-shocked by what happened. And the way the Congress came in and snatched what they thought was their territory, because KCR was on the decline, and the Congress smartly moved in and got the prize. But I just want to make a larger point, which we did in passing reference, and we talked about, and Rajdeep, you talked about, I think this, is this whole thing that Siddaramaiah and Shivkumar came to Delhi for, and you've seen these full-page advertisements about the South being neglected, not being given the due in terms of its money that was there. I think that is a potent force as it gets along, because it's also tied up with delimitation in some senses. That somehow the South is performing very well. Telangana is one of the states. Karnataka we talked about, and yet, you know, so this kind of thing can begin to erode on the Modi wave factor.
No, so it is an idea. There can be no doubt about it. But does the opposition have the wherewithal to mount it into a meaningful idea, take it down to the ground in the weeks before polling?
No, I'll give you a very interesting example. Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan is in town today. He led a protest. The Congress decided not to join it because the left is their prime opponent in Kerala. So there are internal divisions. But when I asked Mr. Siddaramaiah, he said, yes, we would like to hold a convention of all the southern chief ministers soon. So they will play this card. And at least it's a card with some emotional connect.
No, but it's also picho suja. It's a real last minute kind of idea, right? To be able to take this idea, build it into something big requires some time.
And the other worry is...
idea to begin with. You are only 2 months away from the election. Even if you play it well, South is only 130 or 140.
No, but in those states
Rahul,
it may do well.
Rahul, can I just make a point? If in Karnataka they have swallowed the poison chalice in some sense, had to drink from that one, it is because they know that if they lose Karnataka, the BJP, the whole Modi wave that begins to shrink, because at 25 seats, it is the one that tilts decisively in terms of if moving from, say, whatever figure that they have now, if they are 303, if it starts dropping like they had last time, they lose a lot. So that is why you will see that they are so concerned. Look at they are willing to compromise, whether it is in Bihar, as we've seen, in any of these places, despite the fact that they seem invincible, the BJP is insecure for whatever reason, and it is showing up in these places.
I actually don't think it's insecurity. I actually now am convinced the BJP, as you saw with Mr. Modi talking about 370 and 400, it's like pushing your troops to try and conquer what is seemingly impossible. So you say Karnataka, okay, people are saying we are going to lose there, put all your might in Karnataka. The Prime Minister's repeated trips to the South at a time when, you would have thought they would say, okay, South is an area where we will not do well, suggests that actually they think South is a growth area. So it's fascinating.
Okay, so one seemingly impossible thing, but why not? When you are talking about the possibilities, if the BJP can go all the way to bring the JDS, if the BJP can go all the way to bring Nitish Kumar, why nobody is talking about possibility of BJP and BRS coming together?
Look, the BJP at the moment, the BJP is hunting for allies all over. The BRS is a potential ally, but I think they see Telangana as one of the states where they want to grow in the future. And to grow, they have to finish the BRS. See, once the regional party is finished, make it BJP versus Congress in Telangana, advantage BJP. So that's the one reason why they may hesitate from taking on the BRS. And Chandrasekhar Rao is a wily leader. I think Kumaraswamy is desperate.
Rajdeep, correct me, Raj.
No, I just want to make a quick point to what you made.
Yeah.
the fact is that Modi came into Telangana for an election campaign and said that KCR approached him to help out his son, and so there was this talk of an alliance that was building over there. Yeah. And of course, as we've seen, they've patched up with JDS.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah.
Exactly.
So the point which Telangana is fascinating, but we need to move on, because otherwise we'll get caught in the politics of one state, and then people in Andhra will start feeling bad, and that's never a good idea when you're discussing Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. So Andhra Pradesh on your screen next. 25 seats here. I look at projected vote shares first. The YSRCP of Jagan Reddy had 49% vote share last time. That's projected to come down to 41. That's 8 down from the last time. But the TDP, which was at 40% the last time, is now expected to go up to 45. Remember, we had Chandrababu Naidu meeting the Home Minister recently. Are they picking up signals which before this poll the others hadn't, but BJP obviously had its own polling on the ground? The BJP had very little vote share, it's just marginally expected to go up. The Congress had very little vote share, marginally expected to go up. But the big change there is, for the first time, we are seeing the vote share of the YSRCP since Jagan led his party to power after that famous Padyatra, lesser than the TDP, a 4% gap, converted into seats. Fascinating here, very, very fascinating, because remember, Chandrababu Naidu was really given the rough end of the legal stick recently, and there's a lot of talk amongst the TDP supporters that there is sympathy on the ground there. That is reflecting in the numbers for the first time, because from 0 the TDP is projected to go up to 17. If you ask me, of all that we've seen, this is the one number that pops out of the screen and grabs my attention.
You know, my sense is Mr. Amit Shah has got a sense of what Yashwant Deshmukh's poll was suggesting. Because why is it?
Sanjay Kumar is surprised. He's
because you've got, before I get, because you see, Chandrababu Naidu was there.
Clarification, Rajdeep.
Yes.
Is TDP only TDP or
TDP plus Jan Sena, obviously.
Plus Jan Sena. Is it Jan Sena also in TDP?
But you see, the thing is that you've got a party whose leader, Chandrababu Naidu, has been knocking on the doors of the NDA for months now. And the NDA wasn't opening the door. Suddenly at the Ram consecration ceremony, you see Chandrababu Naidu there. Now Chandrababu Naidu's come back to Delhi, and apparently there are two views within the BJP. How far should you go to completely embrace him? But I think the BJP wants to be clear. They want to be with the winning side in Andhra Pradesh. And the Andhra side also wants to be with the BJP, because you need help from the center. So if these numbers are right, one of the alliances we could see in the next couple of weeks is TDP.
No, but remember, Jagan is also meeting Amit Shah. So now we don't know.
I'm just saying these numbers.
The BJP has both the Andhra balls up in the air. They can decide where they want to go.
No, the thing is that BJP cannot decide who forms the government in Andhra, because I think the real battle there remains Chandrababu versus Jagan Rahul. But with these numbers, the BJP will be tempted to go along with
Yashwant Deshmukh. This is the most fascinating insight of all that we've seen so far. The Telugu Desam, where many people had started writing the obituary of Chandrababu, political obituary of Chandrababu Naidu and his party, pops out. Jagan Reddy, who so far is busy, and I'm sure he'll be watching this, so we should be just slightly mindful of what we say, busy projecting invincibility, is suddenly seeming on shaky ground. And how does this then impact potentially the assembly election, which will also be held at the same time?
I think the problem what Jagan Mohan Reddy is facing, not that his own personal popularity has taken a hit. I think the problem is there is a huge number of non-performing MLAs and MPs. The anti-incumbency at the micro level. In your view, is the assembly
mood also the same?
Yeah, I mean that's what is happening right now.
You're sure about that?
Unless he changes
no,
big
because you don't know for sure, because this is a Lok Sabha poll.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But do you think it indicates assembly mood also?
I'm getting the indication of that same as well. Unless he changes huge number of sitting MLAs, chops the tickets and gives fresh faces, he has a problem even in the assembly.
What's gone wrong for him? You met him recently. What could have suddenly gone wrong? Because this was not the situation in the last MOTN. So it's obviously changed just in the last 6 months.
Look, the fact is, Andhra polls have always been closely competitive. Even when Jagan lost in 2014, it was a very wafer-thin margin, especially in terms of votes. So both sides have strong vote bases of their own. If the Kapu vote, which comes in through a Jan Sena, gives you an accretion, it helps Chandrababu Naidu. My sense is I would not write off Jagan Mohan Reddy. He's done a lot of welfare schemes. He's banking on welfare schemes, the sort of Modi model taken into the Labharti model at the state level. But there is also a sense that many of his MLAs have been distant from the voters, have either been accused of local level corruption. He's changing 60 MLAs out of 150 that he won. So there's a clear sign that he also recognizes local anti-incumbency.
So I have a theory. When if it's as tight as this and the TDP is bouncing back, whichever side aligns with the BJP, potentially Amitabh Tiwari has the advantage in Andhra Pradesh. Would you agree?
With one caveat before you go to Amitabh. Then remember, there is a solid 8 to 9% minority vote that's Muslim, plus a large Christian vote out there. And in a way, many of Jagan's advisors have been telling him, let Chandrababu go with the BJP, it will allow you to consolidate that vote. So it's a gamble.
Counter to that, I mean, there is another set of data which generally, I mean, I keep on mentioning, I mentioned you Punjab, Tamil Nadu and Kerala. I did not mention Andhra Pradesh in that. Even though Congress and BJP both are out of equation in Andhra Pradesh, but Pradhan Mantri Modi's personal popularity in Andhra Pradesh is way more than Rahul Gandhi's. So what I'm simply trying to say, even though BJP has no equity whatsoever over there, there are certainly emotions attached on the Congress, anti-Congress and the old fault lines that the political fault lines are. And one recent development is Jagan Mohan Reddy's sister going to Congress. Now, if from here onward, Congress gains by virtue of Karnataka and Telangana just even 2-3 points, that entire vote block is going to come from the Jagan Mohan Reddy because they share the same vote. So the Congress jump is only going to damage Jagan.
See, BJP has a problem of plenty here, so it will choose whichever party is going to win more or higher number of seats. However, as you mentioned, Andhra is one of the few states where simultaneous elections already take place. And generally what happens is that whatever is the result in the Vidhan Sabha election is reflected in the Lok Sabha election. Andhra 2014-19, Telangana 2014, Odisha 14-19 and Sikkim 14-19. So this could be reflective also of the YSRCP facing pressure or anti-incumbency even at the local level. I can tell you one
thing very clearly. Chandrababu Naidu is going to be on India television very soon. The TDP already picking up these numbers. They are flying with them. This, frankly, Rahul Verma, is the first piece of good news they've had for a party. And I think this is where legal overreach always is double-edged. You think you're killing your enemy. It can potentially create sympathy and can help your opponents bounce back.
Again, something you should know, right? Anyone who is in politics knows this. But then politicians also are humans. They have egos, they have anger, right? And they, in their overreach, try to do something which may backfire. So we don't know whether the TDP's gain are actually coming because of that legal overreach. This might also be happening because Congress might be gaining certain votes, which is coming from Jagan's party. And
no, but that's overhyped. From 1, if they're going to 3, that's only 2% up. You can say it's 2%, but the Jagan Reddy is losing 8% vote share. Only 2% the Congress has got extra from the last time. So remember, Jagan Reddy's graph at this moment is very clearly coming down. That's what this data represents. There's no running away from it. And Chandrababu Naidu would be doing a bit of a dance right now, Sanjay.
But BJP's overtures towards Chandrababu Naidu also reflects, the BJP and Prime Minister Modi. He wants to get a foothold in southern India because, you see, if he's comparing himself with Jawaharlal Nehru, with Indira Gandhi, with Rajiv Gandhi, with this Congress Prime Ministers, you cannot be a Prime Minister of India and, 100
but it also shows,
out of his bounds.
But it also shows flexibility again. Here is a leader who 5 years ago tried to lead the opposition charge against Prime Minister Modi, spoke angrily against the Prime Minister.
Nitish did the same.
And you're willing to embrace them all. So I think the Prime Minister is very clear that in politics there are no permanent friends or enemies, something that the Congress could learn. Think about it. Jagan Mohan Reddy comes from a Congress family. What stopped the Congress in all these years from making at least one solid overture to him to try and embrace? What do you do instead? You send his sister to contest against him, which clearly for him is a red rag. You've actually, according to which he said in the interview to us, you've divided my family. So any question of
his
him,
family is already divided.
No, 1 minute. What stops the Congress? It's been 15 years now almost since Jagan left. You could have made
an ego. There's a difference.
No, my point is
the Home Minister often says,
BJP is ready to make that extra step of flexibility.
Because the Home Minister often says, and the Prime Minister believes this, that power में होंगे तब अपनी ideology को हम implement करेंगे ना power में ही नहीं है तो कैसे implement करेंगे? Whereas Rahul Gandhi says power is poison. I think that is the fundamental difference. Rahul Gandhi says power is poison.
Rahul made a very good point. That you see, an ideological party. BJP claims to be an ideological party, but is a party of power. The Congress claims to be a party of power, but is now under Rahul Gandhi trying to become a party of ideology. You know, that I want people who are going to fight the RSS, come what may. So you've got a remarkable shift where the BJP wants to be the party of power.
But Rajdeep, there's a very big difference. Yeah, everybody knows what the BJP's ideology is. Half the congressmen don't know what the Congress's ideology is. They don't agree on the same ideology.
Rahul,
so that's the reality.
Let's also admit Congress does not have ED.
Sorry?
Can I
Congress does not have ED.
Sure, the ED is a factor which we will discuss, of course, but that's a separate factor.
One small point about TDP. See, even in 1999 and in 2014, TDP only came to power when it aligned with BJP. So TDP never
That's the
came
point
to
I
power
was trying to
on its own.
So TDP has never won
that's a very remarkable point, Rahul. Thanks for putting it, because in 1998 election, in the undivided Andhra Pradesh, BJP on its polled almost 20% votes, which forced TDP to join hands with BJP, and he swept again in 1999. So he made a very remarkable point.
But can I make a distinction? Can I make a distinction between Chandrababu Naidu and NTR? NTR had the power to win on his own. Chandrababu Naidu, when he took over the party, was not able to do that. That's the difference. Chandrababu Naidu has needed an ally. NTR did not need allies.
That's true. But every time he has won, he has come along with the alliance of the BJP.
TDP 2 months ago was thinking of joining the India Bloc Alliance. After the 3-0 drubbing, it has again changed its mind. So the regional parties, hawa kidhar beh rahi hai, are very cognizant of this.
And there's another little piece of trivia, Rahul. There are two wings of Prashant Kishore's IPAC. One wing is with Chandrababu Naidu, and the other wing is with Jagan Mohan Reddy. And a few weeks ago, Prashant Kishore was allegedly on a flight with Chandrababu Naidu or his son, and all speculation sort of arose in Andhra. Is he going to now align with Chandrababu Naidu? He says he's not. But if these numbers are true, he clearly knows who's on the winning side.
Jagan didn't give the NOC.
But are you surprised with these numbers? Are you surprised at all with these numbers, Sanjay Kumar?
No, about Andhra, we are all discussing TDP and YSRCP. But we are not discussing Janasena. I think Janasena is very important. If you just pull out Janasena from the TDP
How much
alliance,
is the Janasena vote?
It's roughly about 4.5%. But if you pull out Janasena from the TDP, then Jagan Mohan Reddy is back in the game. That is so sure. And
it is a situation like Bihar. Nitish Kumar at the center. There are two other players. You know, like RJD and BJP on one side. Whichever side Nitish Kumar goes, that party gets.
But it's fascinating. It is a fascinating verdict.
I want to go across now to Tamil Nadu. And Tamil Nadu is the one state where the UPA or the India alliance, at least at this moment on the surface, looks settled. The turbulence is on the NDA side because the AIDMK and the BJP are now separate just at this moment, and this game is changing so fast that I don't want to end up saying something which makes us look silly a few weeks down when people look back, because that's the way everything we're saying is just commentary at this moment. Things, of course, can change. So here is Tamil Nadu. I'll start with the vote share numbers first. So the NDA projected to be 15% vote share. The India Alliance from 53 to 47. This is largely the DMK and the Congress and some of their smaller allies. Now you've got the AIDMK in the others, which is now expected, the others together are expected to be 38%. Let's look at seats. Yes?
Also, then a lot many smaller groups are there who are not yet aligned. So we do not know which side will they be in. So a lot of this AIADMK on its own is hardly about 30% at this point of time.
So 8% are the others, 30% is the AIDMK. Okay, here is the conversion into seats. Now, again, the second state where there is some good news for the opposition alliance, because like in Telangana, this time, of course, is the India alliance. They had 38 seats the last time, expected to go up to 39 this time. The BJP, while it may gain vote share, not expected to win seats in Tamil Nadu. And the AIDMK had just one seat, that too could come down to 0. So Tamil Nadu looking strong. Does the DMK stay fully with the Congress, or could there be a twist in the tail there also?
I think, Rahul, I'll be very surprised given the statements that Stalin has made at the moment that he will also switch sides. There's the ED factor that our friend Rashid Kidwai mentioned. Yes, there are a number of DMK ministers under the ED scanner. But I find it difficult to believe that it will happen before the election. What happens post-elections, we don't know. If the Congress completely collapses, many of these allies of the Congress today could go in different directions. But I think there's a general sense, and the poll may well bear it out, Yashwant, that this is the one state where the Prime Minister's popularity is much less than it is nationally, even though he's made the effort repeatedly to go to Tamil Nadu, to identify himself with Tamil culture, the Singal, when the new parliament was inaugurated. So the BJP, as always, continues to see Tamil Nadu as this sort of bridge too far, which they want to one day conquer. But
no, look at the effort he makes with the Kashi Tamil Sangam.
Yeah, but my sense is the AIDMK's collapse over the years has only consolidated the DMK and has put the BJP in a difficult position. Do we try and occupy the opposition space, or do we tie up with the DMK?
Yes, either ways, the vote share increase is not going to result in the seat conversion. So
is there a vote share increase substantially?
Yeah, it's a vote share increase substantially. It could be further because, as I said, many of those smaller splinter parties might still go this way, that way, or the ND way. We do not know.
No, is the BJP gaining or is the AIDMK gaining this plus 3%?
It's the BJP gaining. AIADMK is going down and down and down all the way. And by the way, AIADMK is counted in others in this calculation. It's not counted in the NDA vote share for that.
No, but so you're saying a 15%. Just a minute. You're saying a 15% vote share is principally a BJP vote share?
BJP and the other perceived alliance partners of the BJP, and that's not a very big number. I tell you why. In 2014, BJP actually contested with his alliance all alone, not being part of AIADMK or DMK, and they polled 18%, which is a decent enough number. But that vote share, just like Kerala, as I mentioned, BJP almost touches approximately 20% in Kerala.
In Lok Sabha.
But 0 seats. It doesn't really matter. 3 states where Prime Minister Modi has actually bent over backwards, I would say, in order to accommodate the political sentiment, Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Punjab. The gap is reducing. They are having a growth of organic level, I would say, but unlikely to convert into seats.
Rahul, is there any possibility there's a buzz that the Prime Minister could contest from Kanyakumari as a second seat?
No, so
there's a buzz that he wants to bridge the north-south divide himself. 1 seat in the north, 1 seat in the south. Possible?
But Rahul Gandhi also showed some sense of weakness when he picked Wayanad. The Prime Minister may not wish to go only for the reason that if this north-south divide picks up and for some reason they end up on a shaky ground, you don't want to expose the man who's supposed to be invincible to any form of threat. Therefore, will they take that risk? No, they will go all out to shore up their fortunes in Tamil Nadu. Remember, the BJP is the only party at this moment which has a 20-30 year horizon on things. When I speak to top BJP leaders about, say, the strategy for Tamil Nadu, or say, why don't you just patch up with the AIDMK at this moment, it might make it easier. They're saying, we want to end Dravidian politics. Not just about coming to power at this moment, it's also about a larger political, social, ideological fight where we want to integrate the country. I mean, at least they're talking that language and then pushing in that direction. Right. Oh, now, like the Chinese have a 20-30 year horizon, the Congress doesn't even know what they're doing tomorrow.
Raj, where do you therefore see the DMK being? If these numbers hold, the DMK will presumably be, if not the second largest party, certainly the third largest party once again. Does the DMK remain where it is with all the ED pressures that we speak about? Other allies are slowly drifting away from the India alliance? Or is there, you believe, a chemistry with Rahul Gandhi and the Congress that Stalin intends to cement?
I think you have to look at what he gains. If it's only the ED that is putting pressure and how deep that pressure is, one has to look at. But funding, but fundamentally, Tamil Nadu doesn't believe in this one nation, one party, one nation, one language. So there's been that protest going on from the 60s. The more the BJP tries to emphasize all these things, and let's not forget, Prime Minister Modi had, as part of the temple run, went right down to Tamil Nadu and did two temples out there to assure them that, look, we care as much not just of the Ram Mandir, but all your tradition and culture. So at the moment, I don't find the reason why Stalin should be switching unless there's some inside information.
No, also given the comments that Udaynidhi Stalin has made about Sanatan Dharma, I presume the BJP can't be then seem to be embracing them right away.
Yeah, and the Tamil culture and the fact that anti-Brahmanism had ruled for, and continues to in many senses, it's going to be difficult for the BJP. It'll get this 10-15%. Mr. Modi's popularity is there, and we need to see that.
Okay, let's turn then to the final state in our southern sojourn, which is the lovely state of Kerala that often marches to its own beat. Take a look first at vote share. If elections are held in 2024, what happens in Kerala is the UDF, that's the Congress-led front, 46% vote share, LDF 32%, 14% back, NDA 17, others 5. How is this translating into seats? Well, it's virtually a repeat of 2019. Once again, a clear sweep for the Congress-led UDF. The best news for the Congress so far, apart from Telangana, is coming from Kerala. 18 to the UDF, just 2 to the LDF. But remember, both are part of the India alliance. So
no, but it's a big change from 2020, Yashwant Deshmukh, where you had the LDF come back to power. Now you've got, for some reason, very clearly in a Lok Sabha context, anti-incumbency against the left and very strong pro-incumbency against the Congress. And if Kerala was India, Rahul Gandhi would be Prime Minister.
Absolutely. If Kerala was India, Rahul Gandhi would have been not only the Prime Minister, he would have been a Prime Minister with Rajiv Gandhi kind of majority. But having said that, I think 2019 numbers also came after a victory of left front in the assembly elections. And so that way, Kerala is a very much split vote. Because they are voting for assembly level separately and Lok Sabha level.
No, but what explains that vote, Rajdeep?
It's very interesting. A few days ago, Kerala left leader told me, why does Rahul Gandhi have to contest from Wayanad? Can't he choose any other part of the country? We are his staunch allies in the India alliance and he's coming to take us on in Wayanad. So I think there again, people...
He looks like a strong force in Kerala.
No, so therefore, you see, the Congress is seen as a national party in Kerala. The left is seen as the regional party of Kerala. Mr. Vijayan is seen as the prominent chief, the #1 neta of Kerala. There may be anti-incumbency brewing against him also after 8 years in power. But I think the main reason is the belief that the Kerala voter sees the Congress as a national alternative to the BJP.
GVL Narasimha Rao is now with us. GVL, the BJP was trying very hard on its own through the RSS to win something in Kerala. Yashwant's data suggests it's a bridge too far for this election.
No, I think we are very confident of winning some seats. I will not say we'll be a big force in this election because Kerala doesn't, election to election, the swing is not more than 2% or 3%. Kerala is a state that moves very slowly. But certainly in this election, we are confident of winning.
And what about Andhra Pradesh, where the Home Minister and Naddaji met both with Chandrababu Naidu, also meeting with Jagan Reddy? What's cooking there?
I think these are political meetings that happen during election time. But certainly, no, I think you won't, until anything is final, I think you will not know.
So you're flirting with both parties essentially?
No, we have got support from both the parties as far as parliamentary strength is concerned. But as far as elections are concerned...
But Naidu betrayed you. Would you take him back?
I think these are decisions that party will take at the highest level.
You come from the state, it's your patch.
No, but these are political calls.
That makes it even more difficult for him to commit because it's his own patch.
Rahul and Rajdeep, you see, there are no emotional decisions here. Political decisions are always based on wisdom, political wisdom and political sagacity. Because you accused me, you made some comment against me, or you called me names in a rally, therefore I will not tie with you. That's college level politics. Can
I just take it around this table though to ask that since we spoke of college level politics and Kerala's strong student movement, how many people on this table believe that Rahul Gandhi made the right decision by choosing Wayanad, or was it escapism? Did Rahul Gandhi escape from the reality of trying to rebuild and revive his party in UP by going to Kerala? Is that a mistake? Or is this a pragmatic decision to stay on in the Lok Sabha? Who wants to go?
I think it was a pragmatic decision, and Rahul is very comfortable. If you see his, even Bharat Jodo Yatra in Kerala, whatever he was doing, talking, indulging in all kind of activities and all, he was very comfortable. He was what he is. So
but you can't win India by becoming the Prime Minister of Kerala. To take off from what was just said, that you've got to, instead of investing in rebuilding the party in the north, you're building your base in Wayanad, where your principal opponent is your India ally, the left.
Rajdeep, yes, but these are not easy decisions. It's like, Prime Minister Narendra Modi contesting from Tamil Nadu. I don't think so. I don't think Prime Minister Modi believes, or his party believes, in any kind of bravado.
No, but Rahul could have taken Telangana, he could have taken Karnataka. Why take Kerala, the one state where your ally is from your India alliance?
Well, that would be a choice if he can.
Is this KC Venugopal telling him take a safe seat? Why not? Large minority population, and that also is seen as a factor. You're choosing a seat with a large minority population. It gives the BJP, and they did it in 2019, that you only want to contest a seat with a large minority population.
What are you saying? Are you saying minorities are not? They're also as much as Indian. They're not Bangladeshis.
Sure, but it gives the BJP an opportunity to play on the seeming weakness of the Congress. That the Congress is only relying now on the minority vote.
No. Given a chance, I think the BJP would want to be very comfortable with minorities, simply because they are also, bona fide voters governed by rule of law, constitution.
Okay. Rahul Verma, you agree that Rahul Gandhi did the right thing by picking Wayanad?
Depends on what the right thing means, right? Like if the right thing is just about getting a Lok Sabha seat, perhaps yes. If he thinks he can revive or make the party very, very strong in South, that's also right, as Rashid is saying that in southern India, and even this poll is saying that Congress is actually gaining in South.
No, not in South, only in Kerala. Where in the South? In Karnataka, BJP is doing well. In Andhra Pradesh, the TDP and the YSRCP.
In Telangana, Congress is doing well in alliance with DMK. In Tamil Nadu, they would do well. So in that sense, it's not a bad decision. I think, should he look towards South as well as build the party in North? That's what a leader is supposed to do. Modi campaigns in North and South and East and West, right? If you want to be a national leader...
I think one of the key reasons, one-liner I would say, he lost Amethi because he went to Wayanad.
Yeah, well, what I was told is that they saw their polls in Amethi suggesting a very tough fight, possibly losing. They looked for a safe seat in the south and picked Wayanad. So it was almost like some kind of security which Rahul Gandhi was offered.
No, but imagine if he's your main batsman and he's looking for a safe position.
Which is my point. You see, this is precisely my point, Rahul, that I would have, if you wanted to choose South, choose Karnataka, for example, a state. Where did Indira Gandhi go? Indira Gandhi went to Chikmagalur, went to Beda.
What is the safe seat for Karnataka, Congress in Karnataka?
I have no doubt that there could be potentially safe seats, including potentially Chikmagalur. But look at the projected vote share and seat share of the South, because, Rahul, I think it shows the exact opposite of the North. The vote share in the South, as per the Mood of the Nation poll, NDA 23%, India 41%, others 36%. How does it add up in seats? NDA 27%. That's just a small dip from last time. Remember, BJP got 29 out of 130. India 76%. Slight up because of Telangana, others 29%. But basically, you really have two Indias politically. You have the BJP dominant in North India, and you have India Alliance doing very well in South India. So whether we like it or not, there is a South-North political divide in this country. What implications that will have with delimitation is going to be a big question in a couple of years from now. Couple of years from now.
At this moment, we are focusing on what is the mood of the nation. Welcome back. You're with us on the India Today Mood of the Nation opinion poll. The results of this poll are already buzzing and trending in every state, from Andhra Pradesh to Telangana to Uttar Pradesh. Wherever we are going, a mini tsunami on social media, lots of posts being viral, exchanged. So that's good buzz to have. We now want to come to Rajdeep's home state of Maharashtra. He's already itching, getting out of his chair, all set to get you what should be quite shocking. No matter what you're thinking is happening, I think you'll be shocked by what Rajdeep's about to show you. Rajdeep.
We've gone to the north, we've gone to the south. But the best part of the country parties when you're a
Best
West Indian.
case.
So I'm going to go to, as a West Indian, I've got to go to Maharashtra. And whoever thought Maharashtra would be one of the states which would see so much of chaos and instability in the last 5 years? We've had 3 chief ministers and plenty more in that state. What is the mood of the nation showing for Maharashtra, a state that will have both Lok Sabha and later in the year Vidhan Sabha? NDA 40%. NDA 40%. So that's the BJP and the Shiv Sena into bracket Shinde. India 45%, which is 5% higher. 40 plays 45%, others 15. And 45 is NCP, Uddhav Sena, as well as the Congress party. So 5% edge in Maharashtra to the Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi. The opposition, the best news coming for the opposition after Kerala and Telangana is here in Maharashtra. This could be another big surprise, therefore. How is it projected into seats? What is Yashwant Deshmukh's C voter poll saying for Maharashtra? 26 out of 48 for the India Alliance. 26 out of 48. A huge jump because the NDA, which won 42 out of 48 last time, is down to 22. So if there's one state where the NDA is taking a big hit as per this poll compared to 2019, it's Maharashtra. And that perhaps explains all that's been happening in that state. Breakup of the Shiv Sena, breakup of the NCP, because Rahul, clearly here too the BJP knew this was the one state they were in trouble, which is why they have slightly narrowed the gap, but they're still behind here.
Yashwant, are you sure about your numbers for Maharashtra? Because they've taken a large part of the NCP, they've taken a large part of the Shiv Sena. If this is where things are at the end, then no matter what happens in this Lok Sabha election in the assembly, the BJP and what they have is going to face a very tough time. Why are we ending up with these numbers in your poll?
Rahul, out of the 140 crore people in India, is any damn person sure about Maharashtra as on today? I mean, let's be honest. People are confused, not just because of the previous mandate, the current mandate, people going here, people going there, parties being split, and now the symbols are with the people who did not form the party and with somebody else. So having said that,
it's a Maha mess.
It's a Maha mess. It's not Maharashtra, it's Maha mess at this point of time. And let me do a health warning as well on these numbers. Number one, on the voting intent, we have been asking for individual party and leader, Rahul. Which party or leader you are going to vote for, and then we have summed it up like, Uddhav Thackeray plus Sharad Pawar plus Congress and Shinde plus Ajit Pawar plus BJP. But what we do not know here, who is contesting from which seat and who is going to contest against that person from which seat, which party. What I can see, wherever the BJP tickets would be there, they would be sweeping like anything. Wherever the Ajit Pawar ticket and Shinde Sena ticket would be there, I doubt they will be sweeping in the same way. So the weakest link is on the both sides. On the Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi side, the weakest link apparently is the Uddhav Thackeray Sena, followed by Sharad Pawar, and followed by Congress, and then the Sharad Pawar. So we don't know out of these 3 and 3, which permutation and combination is contesting whom on which seat. Unless we are sure of that, I think this is more of an
Since this is your home state, Rajdeep, here's the concern that I have, just purely academically, right? Which is that will votes get transferred? In a poll, it's very difficult to capture that. But once you know, okay, it's GVL versus Rashid, then the equations change,
exactly
right?
The point. Yeah.
So right now, you don't know that. You're building this scenario on the basis of what respondents are telling you, but the respondent also doesn't know who's against who.
Let me tell you two contradictions, Rajdeep, before you say. I cannot see Uddhav Thackeray voter voting for a Congress or the NCP candidate. Similarly, I cannot see a BJP core voter voting for Ajit Pawar candidate. So there are contradictions on both sides.
I'll give you 2 quick points before you come. One, the fact is that this is an interesting state this year because you've got Lok Sabha followed by Vidhan Sabha 4 months later. And speaking to a number of Maharashtra politicians, they believe the stakes for themselves are much higher in the Vidhan Sabha. So you'll find a number, the Vidhan Sabhas which will be very competitive, seat by seat, and a lot of what Yashwant says will play out there. In the Lok Sabha, Rahul, even though the BJP appears prima facie down compared to 2019, I think, and Yashwant is right, the BJP will do well in its pockets of influence. They have strong pockets, especially in urban Maharashtra. The problem for the BJP is there is a general sense that you have struck opportunistic alliances and you have broken two parties which you were dead against.
But GVL, when I was speaking to top BJP leaders, their numbers were 40 plus. They think it's 40 plus. But a 5% lead for the India alliance, after all the todphod you've done, if this is where it is 22 versus 26, then it's obviously not the way you're calculating.
No, I certainly don't see the numbers the way the poll is predicted, Yashwant's poll. Primarily because this is an election that Prime Minister Modi will be driving. People are voting for PM Modi. They are not voting for individual constituents. This is an election where you will see a massive swing. So anybody voting, anybody contesting,
the premise of the poll, the premise which is also the reality of Maharashtra politics gets reflected in this poll is that BJP at this moment is not a pan-Maharashtra party. Modi might be a pan-Maharashtra phenomenon. BJP per se is not a pan-Maharashtra political party.
Even in states, Haryana, was Haryana a BJP state until 2014? Did BJP ever win a couple of seats in Haryana? No. But once Modi is on the scene, Prime Minister Modi ji, he is one who will drive the entire vote. Please give me the popularity ratings, because that will give you an indication.
Can I just explain?
If you have those numbers.
No, look, last time the BJP contested 25 seats, the Shiv Sena 23. And the BJP and Shiv Sena did extremely well, winning 42. Now what's going to happen is the BJP is going to put pressure on both the Shinde Sena and the NCP Ajit Pawar group to contest less. And the BJP will look to contest at least 30 and divide it. The Ajit Pawar's party is happy not to contest Lok Sabha. Their energies are on Vidhan Sabha. Similarly with Shinde Sena. So that might actually mean the BJP could contest more in the Lok Sabha. I think the worry is that there is genuine anger against the way governments have been broken, fallen on all sides, towards all politicians. So I think you will find Vidhan Sabha becoming a real battleground. Lok Sabha, the Modi factor does play out. Sharad Pawar clearly is weaker in a Lok Sabha election at the moment. He may not even be able to sort of, campaign as aggressively there as he would in a Vidhan Sabha, but he will hope for some sympathy. Uddhav Thackeray is hoping for sympathy, which may come in a Vidhan Sabha, may not come in a Lok Sabha. So Rahul, you could see Maharashtra in the space of 5 months having two very different verdicts. But, Madhu Yaksha Gaur, this is your good news. If there is one state where you need to perhaps invest more attention in the next few months is Maharashtra. And the feeling is typically the Congress is not seizing the opportunity. You're missing the opportunity to miss an opportunity. Many of your leaders are leaving, joining Ajit Pawar's faction. Milind Deora left to join Shinde Sena. Today, Baba Siddiqui, your MLA, former MLA from Mumbai, has left, is likely to join Ajit Pawar. So you're not holding on. You're the Kamzor Kadi.
Hopefully, your predictions may hold on to the leaders who are planning to leave, Rajdeep. But having said that, this has been expecting in Maharashtra, Rajdeep. I think various projections and studies we've done. And we've been very hopeful on Maharashtra because of this third pod, what Rahul says. It's not helping with the people's mood. Secondly, I give this credit to Prakash Ambedkar also joining INDA group can help also the Maharashtra Vikas Agdi to win more seats.
Rahul, how do you explain these numbers? The fact that you've got what seems on paper a strong alliance now with Ajit Pawar there, Shinde there, the other parties seem weakened, but they still have a 5% lead in this poll.
So, with lots of caveats, because no one knows what's going to happen in Maharashtra, but if our thesis is right that people in Maharashtra are unhappy with the way parties have broken alliances, then the expectation would be that the turnout is going to get depressed, which means it depends who has the more cadre on the ground. So it doesn't matter where Ajit Pawar has gone or Uddhav Thackeray has gone. Who has which of these groups actually got the cadre on the ground? In a depressed turnout scenario, cadres on the ground will make sure that your core voters turn out and that group will have advantage.
Your sense, Amitabh?
See, actually, it's a khichdi. So nobody knows which party has the vote, but Shiv Sena and NCP have the symbol. Symbol plays a very important role in elections. That's number one. As you said, BJP will now bargain for a higher number of seats. So it will be able to win more and also transfer its votes to the SHS and the NCP candidates. Now it depends upon how much they have. However, the bad news for the India alliance is that Congress becomes the #1 party of this India bloc, because it is the largest party today in the Vidhan Sabha, and it will demand for the highest number of seats. And here is where the India bloc does not have a track record of elections, because they have not fought together, and the seamless transfer of votes will be between candidates is unlikely to happen.
But if they had any political smarts, the Congress and the India Alliance, Rajchingappa, should now be doubling down where they see opportunity. Maharashtra, instead of frittering precious ammunition on states which are fallow ground, they should focus on where the land looks politically fertile for them. The problem is that's not how they're thinking. BJP is going state by state, seat by seat, candidate by candidate, plucking, and the Congress is trying to do some kind of an ideological revolution. At least Rahul Gandhi is attempting some kind of an ideological revolution here.
But I think the reverse is also true. The way the BJP and Mr. Modi is obviously party to these decisions has been picking up and splitting parties and everything else, and Rajdeep talked about it, doesn't do their image any good. And in Maharashtra,
but their calculation is image doesn't matter when it comes to voting. That's their brutal calculation.
If you are saying I'm taking you to a Viksit Bharat, I have cut corruption down, I am against dynastic politics, you have to then prove that on the ground.
Let GVL respond to that.
Let me just finish the argument. Okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I think it's a principled thing that happens. In Maharashtra, I have a feeling, Rajdeep could vouch, and he also expressed it, is I think there's a Marathi pride which you can define in some ways or the other, right? People must be truly fed up at the way these parties have behaved on that, the way they've split, completely cynical. How do you explain that when you want to take this nation to greatness and you're playing
let GVL respond to that.
They see people are very, very practical. Let me put it this way. People have great trust in Prime Minister Modi. They know he's the one who will deliver Viksit Bharat. And if he does not have the strength in a particular state to sweep that state, let him galvanize, get that support, because we want him to win. The people want him to win. People have trust in him.
Sir, but can I ask you, you're saying people have faith in Modi. Point taken. But when Mr. Modi says there is a 70,000 crore scam in irrigation, points virtue to NCP and Ajit Pawar, 1 week later, Ajit Pawar joins you, what's the message? I was in Nashik, where a gathering which included RSS people were there, and they all said, sir, khoke ki rajniti hai. They openly said it. The word khoka has become a sort of common parlance on the street of Maharashtra. How does that lift the Prime Minister's image? If one moment you say there's corruption, next moment you tie up with the same corrupt person, how does it lift your image?
Let me tell you this. People understand there are some political compulsions. At the end of the day, you want Lord Krishna to win. You want Bhagwan Ram to win. There are some adjustments they will have to make in the interest of larger national good.
But have you gone too far? The point is,
no, I'm telling you, this is the Hindu psyche. This is
an important point that GVL Narasimha Rao makes, because when I was interviewing Dr. Jaishankar, and I've seen now several people say this, they talk about Bhagwan Ram, they talk about Hanuman, they talk about the Ramayana and the Mahabharata, and they talk about tactical compromises on the battlefield, which leads to the war being won. So this is something that we're seeing now quite a lot of, which is what he's talking about.
No. But then, Rahul, with due regard, sorry for speaking out, because it's my home state, I feel strongly. The fact is, where does it fit in with the kind of Ram Rajya that you talk about? What does it leave you with? Is this Ram Rajya that you tie up for Koketi Rajniti?
There is no politician in this country who represents the true political virtues than Prime Minister Modi. No Prime Minister, no Minister, no Chief Minister in this country can match even an iota of what Prime Minister Modi. So what matters to them is Prime Minister's qualities. I have he's a man of total integrity.
No, so you're saying you can do all the wheeling and dealing on the ground, but the Prime Minister's image is not touched by it.
No, they know he's not making compromises. Party
but Rahul Verma, this is
local.
Yes, Rashid.
Yeah. I mean, by going by Mr. GVL Narasimha Rao's logic, BJP should be winning all 543 seats. If Mr. Modi is on a big ticket, he's there on Tamil Nadu also, he's there in Telangana also, he's there in all other states. I think, we must accept what Mr. Yashwant Deshmukh's survey is projecting. All we have gone through over 300 seats, and there is a kind of trend. This is a very interesting thing about what is the findings of Maharashtra. There are 4 states that were always, they are kind of, outliers, and they are giving something in favor of BJP. In case of Karnataka, in case of Maharashtra, there is a trend, and we will see.
No, Maharashtra is not with the BJP. It's going the other way around.
Precisely. So I'm saying there are 4 states that were very crucial in 2024. Even if the outcome is kind of well known that the BJP has an advantage and Mr. Modi is a favorite. One state is Bengal, other state is Bihar, third state is Karnataka, and fourth state is Maharashtra. Now it is giving different kind of trends. I think we must accept what Mr. Yashwant Deshmukh is predicting. We cannot be finding faults with his methodology or, how it will shape Maharashtra. We can't be having different...
Yes, Rahul, very quickly.
So, two points. Yes, in politics, all politicians and parties make these tactical calls. But these tactical calls are going to have cost in the long run. Indira Gandhi in 70s did a similar thing. At some point, it costed her party. Maybe, perhaps, when Prime Minister Modi is around, it won't cost. When he's not around, it may cost the party. So all parties face that cost. Second, throughout the survey, and Yashwant ji has to correct me on this, I have not seen a single state, except the smaller ones perhaps, where BJP is gaining votes from 2019 numbers. They're gaining seats. Even in UP, the votes are not basically...
They've got a slight bump, 53%.
Yeah, so 51%. So in that sense, like in North, there are no big gains coming in terms of vote share, and even in South and West. So I think where perhaps Mr. Narasimha Rao can explain us that why, despite everything in these 5 years, BJP is not being able to...
And the interesting point about Maharashtra...
No, but I'm a little shocked by his argument. Listen, remember also that you are dealing with 10 years of being in government.
Sure.
Look at Biden after 4 years. Look at Macron. Look at Trudeau. Here's a man who's been in power for 10 years. If he can retain his historic numbers, that by itself is a superlative performance.
I think, Rahul, the point that you made about the 2 point or less, like somewhere they were leading by 60 points, now they are 58, 2 points. I understand your point. But what I learned from the experiment and result of Madhya Pradesh is that eventually it will be relative turnout, which will be playing 3-4% of jump just out of nowhere for the BJP, just by virtue of their supporters being more excited about going to the polls and Congress not being in a position as organizationally and resource-wise to pull their supporters. What happened in Madhya Pradesh?
I just want to make a small point which I think is important. Between 2014 and 2019, Rahul, Mr. Modi's popularity was so high that he was even able to pull his party in state elections where they were otherwise not the #1 party. BJP was not the #1 party of Maharashtra. It's after 2014, Mr. Modi pulls it up. 10-12%, they even do very well in state assemblies. After 2019, looks what starts happening.
What happened in December in the assembly elections?
Sir, just a minute. December, we can come back to December, but 2019 to 2024, 1 minute.
Rajdeep.
The BJP in Himachal Pradesh, in Haryana, in Jharkhand, even in Bihar, in state after state, Mr. Modi alone cannot pull up the state unit. Mr. Modi is still very popular in Maharashtra, but Maharashtra's own leaders, BJP own leaders, are not happy with the kind of compromises they've made to stay in power. Some stage, it may cost them in a Vidhan Sabha. I agree with you, Lok Sabha, it won't cost them because that becomes Modi versus who. But what happens in your state units? Therefore, Rahul Verma makes an important point. Will the BJP go the way the Congress did? After 10-20 years, because it makes these compromises.
You can wish that if you like.
No, he asked a question.
But you see, politics, what happens today doesn't influence voting patterns 20 years down the line. I think that makes no sense at all to me. Now, coming back to your question, Modi ji, he was able to pull several assembly elections initially, but you are saying subsequently he did not do so. Because, you see, once you have pulled an assembly election, the local performance and local leadership has to hold there. People will hold every government accountable.
You accept that?
Why not?
Okay.
I think.
So I want to press the pedal and go to Gujarat and Goa, and then we have to go to the east, and then we have the big national picture. So Gujarat comes up on your state next. I want to spend very little time here because it's one-way traffic as one-way traffic can be. I mean, it's like whoosh. There's no comparison. 62% vote share projected in favor of the Bharatiya Janata Party in Gujarat. I mean, 6 out of 10 people, they just want
That's the highest so far in the country.
6 out of 10. And we're not even dealing with the smaller states like a Himachal or an Uttarakhand. In a big state like Gujarat, 62%. The Congress had 32% vote share. That's come down even further to 26, down 6 from the last time. Let's now come to seat shares. If you've got 62% vote share in a largely bipolar contest, I mean, you don't need to be Yashwant Deshmukh to do the calculation. You can do it yourself. It's 26/26 for the BJP in. They want their man back. They want their boy back. Like, he look at how hard he's working. A Gujarati fixing this country. We want him
If
back.
I was a Rajya Sabha BJP MP who was told to contest Lok Sabha, I'll say, मुझे गुजरात की सीट दे दो.
कोई भी दे दो.
कोई भी सीट गुजरात की दे दो, वडोदरा दे दो, गांधीनगर दे दो. GVL also is ready to contest from Gandhinagar. You see, that's the one state where every politician will feel a relative sense of security. I think Gujarat is
there is little difference from contesting a Rajya Sabha and a Lok Sabha. Is that what you're saying?
No. I'm saying that a Lok Sabha...
As safe as better.
Yeah, it appears the safest state for the BJP, Rahul, and I don't think there's much to discuss about that. Prime Minister Modi in Gujarat is, really, his popularity is at an all-time high in a way.
It's the true, like you were discussing parallels with American elections, like you've got along the coast and in mid-America, this very clear divide between Republican Democrat states. This is as Republican in Indian context as Republican.
And GVL made a point that don't look at what happens 20 years from now. But I just for a moment want to pause because one of the first elections I covered was 1990 Gujarat. And at that time, the BJP had to back the Janata Dal Gujarat of Chimanbhai Patel to prop him up to form a government. See where we've come 35 years later. We look at events today. If you make mistakes today, you pay a price for it 20 years from now. That decision of the way the Janata Dal Gujarat was eventually, the Congress propped it up for a while, destroyed the Congress in the long term in Gujarat. The Congress replaced a chief minister who had 150 seats in Madhav Singh Solanki. Can you imagine?
Well,
one of the
BJP replaced Shivraj Singh Chauhan.
No, but 150 seats, BJP replaced Shivraj Singh Chauhan with Modi as the dominant figure. That time, Rajiv Gandhi could never really sort of lift the party.
But Rajiv and the Congress didn't think so. See, that's
the mistake. So I'm saying politicians can make mistakes and therefore they must be conscious of the mistakes they make.
Let's come to Goa. Goa has 2 seats, north and south. This is where all of us hope to retire, at least Rajdeep and I hope to retire in Goa for sure. Okay, so here's Goa. Lovely state. 2 seats, 1 each is the calculation. North and south, 1 seat split between north and south.
North is clearly to the BJP. I'm presuming Yashwant
south
is giving
because
north.
there are more Christians over
the south, interestingly, if the AAP-Congress alliance works perfectly, and it has to work perfectly, it has half a chance. I still believe that the BJP will be very much in the race, even in the south. Percentage of Christians has gone down. One of the stories of our times, Christian population in Goa at the start of this century used to be 30% plus. It's now just over 20% and declining. So you actually, even in South Goa, will find it not so easy. Only a perfect Congress AAP alliance and no other third party like the Goa Revolutionary Party coming in gives them half a chance. I still believe advantage BJP in Goa in both the seats. That's the nature of Goa as well.
So let's look now at the projected seat share of the West and the projected vote share of the West. I'll start with the vote share projection. Axis My India predicts for the India Today group that the NDA would end up with 48% vote share if you aggregate the states of Gujarat, Maharashtra and Goa. The India Alliance at 38, a 10% gap here for the NDA. Converted into seats, the NDA is at 51, the India Alliance at 27, and why it seems that this is not as one way as the North is because Maharashtra is sticking out as the one state where the BJP's dominance is not quite what the BJP top leadership would like to believe.
But look at the story, Rahul, the northwest monsoon. 154 in the north, 51 in the west. You're almost home and dry. Between the two, you're slightly below where you were in 2019. There you won 230 plus. You're slightly below because of Maharashtra in particular, but you're still almost there.
400 par kaise hoga?
We haven't come to the east. We haven't come to the east. We haven't shown the big picture there. So that's just we're halfway through this show. So we'll slip into a break. When we come back, we'll show you what's happening in the east of India, and then there is the big national picture. Stay with us.
Hello and welcome, I'm Sahil Joshi. Now I'm at the Mumbai seafront. You can see here the Mahim Fort. and also the Bandra Worli ceiling, the most iconic locations in Mumbai.
Because the people have reposed confidence in Bharatiya Janata Party and NDA.
And Eknath Ji Shinde has done what the people wanted. People wanted Shiv Sena and BJP together, as we have been together for 25 years.
It is only the MLAs who have defected. It is not the people who have defected.
How is Ajit Pawar like-minded party with the BJP?
We see it worked in line with the expectation of the people, and that's why we are confident of our victory.
If you are so confident about 370 votes and 400 for NDA, why do you want all other alliances with you? Why do you want all small parties with you?
वो washing machine से धुल गए, ये कमल detergent में सब धुल जाते हैं. We are shifting our focus to Gujarat.
Confidence in the people's mandate is very, very certain.
The youngsters have come in and they have taken the major positions in Gujarat. I feel things will be very different.
In Gujarat, if you ask any Congress leader, but they are all demotivated in Gujarat purely because they know they are going to lose.
Election of 2024 will be an election of Modi versus Mudda.
Our phones are buzzing, multiple politicians, their well-wishers, supporters across states calling, wanting to know something on the site. There's no sideshow happening. If you want to know what the numbers are, stay tuned to our coverage on India Today as we take you through state by state, region by region, and then finally the national big picture. We want to come to the fascinating state of Bihar, where Nitish Kumar's U-turn has made things very topsy-turvy and very exciting, which is also why the Mood of the Nation poll had to do extra polling to be able to capture what's happening in Bihar. On your screen right now are the vote share numbers for Bihar first. 53% is what they had in the last Lok Sabha elections. They're projected to be at 52, but there is, on the surface, it seems not much has changed, but so much has changed internally because the JDU, which was earlier with the India alliance, has now jumped over, which is what kind of keeps the BJP-led India alliance where it was. The India alliance was at 31%. That's expected to go up to 38%. Let's see how this converts into seats. For the first time now, on your screen, the Bihar projections on the 40 seats of Bihar. Yashwant Deshmukh and his team at C-Vota are predicting that the NDA could end up at 32. Remember, apart from Kishanganj, they had 39 out of 40 seats the last time. They expected to come down 7 this time around. The India alliance, which had only 1, expected to go up to 8. So just imagine, Rajdeep, if Janata Dal United was actually here, BJP was staring at bigger losses in the orange column, and the India alliance was looking at bigger gains, which is what explains that somersault.
You know, the fascinating aspect is that when you went to Uttar Pradesh, the BJP is holding its own. The moment you've gone into neighboring Bihar, even though the BJP has now struck an alliance with Nitish Kumar, gone back to its own party, it's down compared to 2019. In fact, if you look at the BJP overall, except for Uttar Pradesh, none of the major states are seeing a major jump for the BJP.
In Bihar,
so that's what makes Bihar very interesting.
No, but because this happened so close to your poll, does your polling account for the full impact of Nitish coming back to the BJP?
Not really. I mean, because we had to do a snap poll and see what kind of impact it was. We could sense 2 major things. Number one, yes, there is almost like 8% arithmetic jump, you know, from the India faction to the NDA, just by moving JDU supporters to this side to that side.
Which could also mean that Nitish is now worth only 8%.
Yeah, exactly. This is one of the points, which is like, instead of 16% which he polled in 2014, his core vote looks like more like a 8% kind of thing. Number one. Number two, we still don't know who is contesting how many seats. You know, and please remember, even Paswan's party is split into 2. So we have just taken in whatever the seat allocation was there in 2019 as our base one. And we realize that the probability of JDU tally going down even within the part of the NDA is quite significant. Which means last time they contested 17, won 16, but they could even very well come down, crashing down to single digit. So what this means is that in the overall, yes, JDU did a wise thing probably to come back and, you know, safeguard their own thing. But if the NDA needs to pick up its tally, probably BJP needs to contest more seats, because there is a significant anger against the JDU not just among the RJD supporters, but even in the
but Amitabh
BJP
Tiwari,
supporters.
you come from Bihar. Does this poll account for the potential winning bandwagon effect? The fact that if voters in Bihar think that this is a Modi election, a BJP election, then they may more likely than just at the time of separation choose to go along with the NDA.
That is most likely to be the case, because as Yashwantji is saying, BJP is likely to contest on a higher number of seats, give lesser number of seats to JDU, which is facing a decline in its support base. But if you see, both the parties were at 37% vote share. 15% is the Modi premium, because JDU was with BJP in Vidhan Sabha elections. So the Vidhan Sabha elections, when it factors into account the Modi impact, is 15% straight away. So, but with this swing of 8% from Mahagathbandhan to NDA, what would have been the result? It would have been 46-42% in favor of...
The result would have been just bang opposite.
So again, BJP, being a practical or a pragmatic party, clearly saw that there would have been significant losses in Bihar.
The guy who won't like this
U-turn was not
is
being
Nitish
done.
Kumar. If he thinks he's worth Rahul Verma only 8%, that just shows how, like the BSP in Uttar Pradesh, like the JDS in Karnataka, the JDU seems to be a very diminished force.
Yes, absolutely. And I hope Nitish Kumar realizes it. And Nitish Kumar perhaps understands that he's diminishing and he's still trying to make most of it.
But with this 8%, he's still chief minister.
No,
the most valuable 8% you can have.
So think of it. Since 2013, he knows that he's declining. But what he knows that without him, no government can be formed till at least till 2025. And he's making most of it. He's basically, he goes with, so he's one of those politicians where he's being opportunistic and ideological at the same time. He joins RJD, gets his caste census done. Comes to BJP, does certain other things. So he's trying to make most of it in a very, very small...
But look at, maybe the BJP looked at Yashwant's last Mood of the Nation poll.
Yeah.
And there were 3 states where the BJP was in clear trouble. There was Bihar, there was Karnataka, and there was Maharashtra. Yeah. What did they do in Maharashtra? They broke the 2 major parties, Shiv Sena earlier, then the NCP. In Karnataka, you went and tied up with JDS, brought back Yediyurappa into the fold through his son. And in Bihar, you got Nitish Kumar back into the fold. I saw this photograph in the morning papers today, Prime Minister shaking hands with Nitish Kumar. And I just wonder, what makes politicians tick? Here are 2 people who've attacked each other personally at various stages. Nitish Kumar refusing more than a decade ago to even share a stage with the Prime Minister. But all is fair in love and politics. And I come back to it, Rahul. The BJP has shown itself to be a party of power while claiming to be an ideological party, and the Congress has done just the reverse.
No, but I don't agree. Once they're in power, they're ideological. Their logic is, they've scrapped Article 370, they've brought India the Ram Mandir.
Sure.
What other proof do you need of ideology?
No, I'm not saying the ideology is diluted.
Yeah, UCC has come about in Uttarakhand. So once their formula is you win and then you get ideological. To win, you don't worry about ideology.
All I was saying is that there were states where the Congress had seen they were going to get, the BJP had seen they could be down by double digits. Bihar was one of those states. Yeah. Let's find out a way to tackle Bihar. The point, Rashid Kidwai, is this is the difference. You see, I got a call just now from a UPA leader. Please show me which are the states where the BJP is growing. I said it's not about the BJP growing, but holding its own. And they've held their own by strategic politics. Does the opposition recognize that, Rashid?
Yeah,
or will they only blame the enforcement director?
I think Nitish Kumar's story is not complete without the opposition politics. Nitish Kumar seems to have gone on a rebound. He worked very hard for this India alliance, and when Mamata Banerjee, propped up Mallikarjun Kharge, and when Rahul Gandhi said that, he will talk to Mamata before appointing Nitish Kumar as India alliance convener, all these things look like...
You're saying if he was appointed convener, he would have stayed on?
Precisely, because Nitish Kumar was not doing 8%, he knew his days are numbered, he wanted to be a prime ministerial face, he may not have said it.
And this is... If he was made convener, think of it, after 2023 December results, he's also making calculations. Being convener is only worth if you have a shot at something.
So he thought he was on the losing. Shama Mohammed joining us of the Congress party. Shama Mohammed, do you believe that in Bihar, the BJP in this last stretch has trumped you by taking someone who was not too long ago seen as the architect of the India alliance? So perception-wise and now in reality, as per our numbers, the Congress led India alliance has lost a big opportunity.
I don't agree with you on that, Rajdeep. Everybody knows what Nitish Kumar is. Like I said before, if he had to go, he had to go. He keeps jumping from here and there. But you said a very important thing is, what is the ideology of the Bharatiya Janata Party? For example, let's look at the Meghalaya election. They were with NPP in Meghalaya before the election. During the election, they went their separate ways. Mr. Amit Shah has put in the manifesto that the party NPP is corrupt, and when they come to power, they will take action. They won 2 seats in that election, and they said very clearly, Conrad Sangma and NPP is corrupt. They go and join the party after the election. So yes, they will do anything.
Opportunist when it comes to election, they are ideological when it comes to governance. So they bring in, as Rahul rightly said, Article 370, Ram Mandir, maybe uniform civil code after the next election. Ideological in governance, strategic opportunism, if you want to call it that, tactical politics when it comes to elections.
Rajdeep, let me ask you one more thing. Then why is that you can eat beef in Goa, but you cannot eat beef in Karnataka?
Okay, so that's now, let's just stick for the moment to the data.
So no, they have no ideology. And one last point. This is not mood of the nation. I would call it mood of the media also. Today I was traveling from Delhi to Imphal, and the person in the plane says, dekho, Modi kya keh rahe hai? That we are dividing it into north and south. It's all about what Modi. But I don't understand why the paper and the media does not talk about how a present sitting prime minister insults the first prime minister of India, calls him all the names in the world, and nowhere in the world they do that. Nowhere. And let's not forget he was a freedom fighter. So why is nobody written about that? How the present prime minister keeps insulting a freedom fighter, the first prime minister of India. And see, you have to understand, people get carried away with what media is doing. Before 2014, we were questioned 100 times. I fail to understand why the present government is not. You could write an article on why beef is allowed in Goa, but not in Karnataka.
West Bengal, another big state where the battleground is going to be tough. Let's take a look at the vote share first. Remember, the BJP did very well in Bengal, the breakthrough election of 2019. Now, in vote share, NDA 40%, holding its own. The Trinamool Congress 43.5%. Here we've separated the TMC from the rest of the India alliance because it's likely Congress and left will contest together. That's others 7.3. So Trinamool Congress 43.5, others including Congress and left 7.3, NDA 40. How does this translate into seats? BJP 19, they won 18 last time, 19 this time. They will be happy that they are holding their own in Bengal. TMC 22, down 1. Congress plus left is 1 seat. So Bengal once again, Rahul, becoming TMC versus BJP. Congress left getting squeezed out, and clearly the BJP holding its own.
Rahul Verma, is there a way of knowing what this may have looked like if the TMC and the Congress and the left can't be together, but the Congress and the TMC were together? How much of a material difference could it have made to these vote share numbers?
It's hard, right? Because you don't know what kind of transfers will take place and what the seat allocation to different parties.
Yashwant, how much of the Muslim vote is the Congress actually splitting, or is it largely going en masse to the Trinamool?
You see, the minority votes saturation towards TMC is already done and dusted. Yeah. So I don't think there is anything from the minority votes perspective left much to whatever the 8 to 10% vote that left in the Congress.
But you're picking up still. How much vote are you picking up for the Congress?
You see, they together they are polling every about 4 to 5% each in that way. But the funny thing is that I kept on thinking why exactly Mamata Banerjee decided to go on her own. And when I took a deep dive and tried to understand the composition of what is left of left and the Congress vote, I realized that big number of them is actually anti-Mamata, not anti-BJP, which is now left with them. So there was a clear and present danger if the Congress and the left would have been in Mamata's alliance, then this vote, 8 to 10%, a huge chunk shifting them to BJP rather than coming Mamata's way.
So with one caveat, the left definitely had to be on the other side. Mamata was very clear. She needed a three-cornered race. Left voter needed to split the anti-Mamata vote. The Congress voter is more interesting, especially in areas like Malda, which the BJP, did very well last time. There, the Muslim consolidation And she saw it in a by-election which she lost last year, which troubled her because suddenly the Muslim vote was drifting towards the Congress. So in 4 to 5 seats, I think it could make a difference, but 4 to 5. So these numbers could have changed by 4 to 5 if even now the Congress ties up with the left. That's about
also,
it, not more than that.
Look into the statement and look into the body language of Adhirda and everybody else within the Congress rank and file. The way their campaign has been, it looks more of anti-Mamta, less of anti-Modi. So they are holding on to whatever they have. They are understanding there is a huge chunk of their vote which is primarily anti-Mamta rather than
But I will make again one caveat. Adhir Chaudhary is worried about Adhir Chaudhary. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary wants to win his own seat. It's not about a Bengal strategy. If there was and this is where the India Alliance gets it horribly wrong. Do you have a strategy for Bengal or do individual leaders dictate terms to you as to how you do it?
We must remember Mamata Banerjee has not left India Alliance. So this is the part of tacit understanding also. The left Congress alliance just to prevent the extra BJP getting extra.
Oh, come on, there is no tacit alliance when Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary comes every week to Kolkata and attacks you in personal terms. There's no tacit alliance between Adhir and Mamta. Let's be very clear.
So is he a Trojan horse?
It's not about Trojan horse.
Mamta is also doing a lot of poaching. By the way,
sure. She is, but the point is,
one-way street.
No, the India Alliance should have decided, this is Mamta's point, who's going to drive your alliance in Bengal? Is Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary going to decide it or am I going to decide it? Congress got 0 seats in a Vidhan Sabha election just a couple of years ago. Can Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary simply to protect his own seat sort of dictate terms to Mamta? It won't happen. I think the India Alliance has singularly failed to have any chemistry on the ground, which is why
Mohammed respond to that.
It's a notional loss of, I agree with Rajdeep ji. Congress should have formed an alliance with TMC. There would have been a vote transfer because Congress vote is also anti-BJP vote. It would have transferred to TMC and they could have won 5 to 6 seats extra. So it's a notional loss and it's an optical loss also because it sends a wrong message to the entire
Absolutely. Shama Mohammed, you want to respond?
Yes, I agree that we should be with Mamata Banerjee in West Bengal because we are supposed to be gaining there with her. There's a different story in Kerala because here in Kerala, we are the principal opposition. Let's understand that. We have, the UDF has 19 out of the 20 Lok Sabha seats and we've got more than 30 seats in the assembly also. So we are the principal opposition, whereas in West Bengal, from 44 to 0, we have come out, So I, being from Kerala, believe that it is more important to be with TMC than to be with the left.
Okay. Sanju Verma now joins us. Sanju, it's been a good showing in the north, not so good showing in the south, strong showing in the west, and in West Bengal, which we're talking about right now, it seems that the BJP is roughly where it was. My understanding on the basis of multiple conversations are the BJP's own polls are showing them 25 plus. This poll seems to suggest that they're not quite there. Our data seems to suggest that the BJP could end up at 19, which is just one more than what they had last time.
Rahul and Rajdeep, first and foremost, I just have this to say. I think survey after survey, and especially Mood of the Nation, which is so hugely watched, thanks to Rajdeep, who's trending every second day, and Rahul Kanwal, who never misses an opportunity to show Rajdeep the mirror. Be that as it may, I just have this to say.
We are not the India Alliance where you are going to create divisions.
On a lighter note,
Sanju ji, no divisions.
On a lighter note,
ये बीजेपी की अच्छी strategy है, divide and rule.
You are trending every day. Thoda shant ho jao. Learn to be gracious when I'm giving you a compliment, albeit a left-handed one. Anyway, now coming to the more serious point. I remember I've been on a zillion debates on these surveys that have been carried out in the last 12 or 24 odd months. And everybody after the West Bengal Assembly elections of 2021, don't forget in Lok Sabha 2019, from West Bengal we got 18 seats, 1/8 with a 41% vote share. But come West Bengal Assembly elections 2021, while we improved our tally from 3 seats to 77, which was a 2400% plus jump, our vote share fell from 41% in Lok Sabha 2019 from West Bengal to 38%. And what did political pundits say? अरे भाई 3% का वोट शेयर की गिरावट हो गई है बंगाल में. The magic that happened in Lok Sabha 2019 of getting 18 seats, that is not going to happen in Lok Sabha 2024. if assembly elections 2021 are an indication to go by.
Okay.
My limited point is, if we are actually improving on our last tally of 18 seats and increasing that to 19 seats, I think the actual result may surprise you on the positive. Okay. I won't be surprised if we are able to
mentioned
even
trends.
25.
I actually just went to social media to check the trends, and the first trend, the top trend nationally at this moment is Mood of the Nation. So Mood of the Nation is the top trend. So well done, everyone. You guys are clearly doing a good job, and at least the audiences are plugged in and watching, which is fantastic. So thank you. That means a lot.
Okay, let's run through all the other states of the East, starting with Jharkhand, where much has been happening. Chief Minister Hemant Soren arrested a few days ago. How is it playing out in the polls as per Yashwant's Mood of the Nation? 2024 projection, NDA 56% up 1. India Alliance 30% down 5, others 14. In terms of seats, NDA 12, India 2, same as 2019. Rahul, next is Chhattisgarh.
Let's come now to Chhattisgarh. In Chhattisgarh, India Today C Voter are projecting that the BJP's vote share will go up from 51 to 54. They won the recent assembly elections, and on the back of that, their vote share is actually going up. The Congress's vote share was at 41 in the last elections. That could now come down 3% to 38. When converted into seats, the Congress had 2 seats last time round. That could come down to 1. The BJP had 9 seats last time round. That could go to 10. So Chhattisgarh, the BJP doing well and holding on to its gains from the last election.
That's right. The honeymoon effect clearly there in Chhattisgarh. Let's turn to a state which is again fascinating because there will be Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabha in the state of Odisha. 2024 projection, NDA 40% vote share, that's +2. India 12%. Naveen Patnaik's BJD at 41%, down 2%. How is this all translating into seats? Virtually again a repeat of what we are seeing in 2019. In fact, a slight jump for the BJP, 10 seats up 2. The India Alliance, mainly the Congress there, is getting 0, down 1. And the Biju Janata Dal 11, down 1. So clearly again all these states are almost repeating 2019. In fact, state after state, Rahul, if you look at the map of India, in many of the states it's a repeat of 2019.
Is there a way of looking at these numbers, Yashwant, and giving our viewers some insights into what may happen in an assembly context in Orissa? Because like Andhra, Orissa too polls at the same time.
Orissa, there is a very clear split vote. There is an upswing for the BJP as far as the Lok Sabha voting is concerned, but as far as the assembly voting is concerned, it is clearly the Naveen Patnaik BJD way.
Assam. Assam, let's look at the seat shares for Assam. Last time the BJP had 9 seats, that could go up to 12. Remember, Assam has 14 seats. The Congress and the AIUDF was at 3, that could now come down to 2, that's down 1. So Assam, BJP consolidating its leads and gains. Let's now look at the overall East seat share. If you look at the 153 seats, and if I look at the vote shares, 47% of the vote for the NDA, 37% for the India Alliance. When converted into seats, in the east of India, 103 seats for the NDA, 38 for the India Alliance, 12 for the others.
And I think this is a story. You know, while we focused a lot on the BJP's dominance in North India, its dominance in Western India, it is in the east that the sun is rising, the lotus is beginning to bloom, particularly when you include a Bihar and the northeast. I'm presuming Yashwant's included all the states of the northeast, the Manipurs, the Nagaland.
No, so we will spend time on each of the northeastern states, just so that people know. We're going to go into a break, show you the national big picture, but we're going to spend time on each of the northeastern states as well.
Hello and welcome once again to India Today's Mood of the Nation poll. All the findings in India Today magazine brought to you by C Voter. We've gone state by state over the last 3 hours. We've gone from the north, south, west and east. It's time now to give you the big picture. What would happen if general elections, which are not too far away, were held today? Rahul, take it away. Give us the big numbers. Can Narendra Modi do his hat-trick after all? Will it be 400 par? Rahul.
This is the moment all of you have been waiting for. No Indian Prime Minister since Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru has won thrice over in 3 successive elections. If elections were held today, does the NDA reach 400 par as they'd like to believe? Is the BJP achieving its mission 370? We've seen the talk. Let's see the numbers. The NDA Alliance projected to bag 45% of the vote share which is what the India Alliance had in the last election as well. The India Alliance expected to bag 38% of the national vote share, which is 11% more than the last time. But that's also because last time it was UPA, this time it is the India Alliance. So parties like the Trinamool, at this moment, this could change soon after our broadcast, but at this moment officially they are part of the India Alliance, which is why as a national aggregate their vote share is up 11%. The others from 28% are now coming down to 17%, down 11. That's as far as the alliance-wise vote share is concerned, where there is a very clear gap of 7 percentage points between the NDA and the India Alliance. Let's take a look at how this converts into seats. 400 par is Prime Minister Modi's war cry. They're heading there, but not there yet. 335 is the current projection by C Voter for the India Today group for this Mood of the Nation opinion poll, the last MOTN before the Lok Sabha elections. 335, way short of 400 at this moment. This is 18 down from the last election. So if you take all the allies together, they had 18 more last time. They're down at 335 at this moment. The India Alliance is at 166. That's 75 seats more than the last time. The others are at 42, 57 down, but that's an apples and oranges comparison because some of the parties which were in the others have now moved to the India Alliance. The big story though is that the NDA is set to come back to power quite comfortably. See, you want to hit 4 centuries in one match, you're hitting 3.5 centuries just yet. And remember, Rajdeep, there's also the fact that once this message goes out that Prime Minister Modi is comfortably placed, then a lot of people may decide, "Arey, vote kya waste karna isi ko do," because if he's coming back. So that ultimately could also come into play.
You know, there seems to be, Rahul, an inevitability about the outcome. I think this is one of those strange or rare elections where it almost seems, at least when you speak to political observers and politicians, that the outcome is known. It's a question of where does the NDA, BJP-led NDA end up? Where does the BJP end up? These numbers are showing the BJP is roughly just around where it was in 2019. The NDA is marginally down, but as you said, there could be a bump it could get in the next 2 months because if it campaigns hard and the BJP is known to do that. Plus, could it get more allies? Remember, all of this is before the possibility of a Chandrababu Naidu or an Akali Dal joining in. All of that could take the BJP above 350. I know that there is all this buzz about 400 par. That perhaps will require the perfect storm. But the BJP has set the base. I think what this Mood of the Nation poll shows, people want Mr. Modi back. The majority seem to want Mr. Modi back for a third term in the first past the post system. And unless there's some kind of a miracle in the next 6 to 8 weeks, the India Alliance will have to simply accept next time, or good luck to you, 2029. 2024 appears as close to a done deal, Rahul, with these numbers. And the Prime Minister's popularity remains pretty high again.
It will be interesting to see whether he just wants to equal Nehru's record or actually be around the next time to beat Nehru's record, or at least attempt to beat Pandit Nehru's record. Let's take you through how the party-wise vote share and seat share would stack up. We looked at the alliance-wise numbers. Let's now look at the party-wise numbers. The Bharatiya Janata Party had 37% of the vote in the last election. That is expected to go up by a massive 3%. I'm saying massive because in a national context, for one party to be able to increase its vote share by 3%, that is a very significant achievement. The Congress had 20% of the vote share last time. C voters predicting at this moment that could come down to 19, just a dip of 1. Others were at 43, they could be at 41. The big story there though is that the Bharatiya Janata Party, which in the last elections was standing at 37% vote share, could go up a massive 3% to 40.
You know, Rahul, there are two big stories. One is the BJP story, the possibility, as you said, that Prime Minister Modi will emulate what Nehru did, win 3 consecutive elections. The other story is the Congress Party, losing 3 consecutive elections and its vote share not changing. I keep repeating, there's one figure that stands out for me, Rahul. The BJP got around 7.5 crore votes in 2009. It went up by a whopping 200% to over nearly 22 crores by 2019 in a decade. The Congress vote has remained relatively static at 11 crores. So while we are looking at the BJP and the big picture of Mr. Modi winning his hat-trick, we've got to also look at the Congress party. And I think somewhere there are
but
two
it's not
stories
static.
there.
If the pie is growing up and your portion say you're actually declining very badly. So you're not static. See, you're declining.
Your vote share is remaining static.
For a moment, and before we kickstart our discussion, let's take you through how this stacks up in terms of seats. We've looked at the vote share numbers. Let's take a look at how many seats each of these parties is projected to bag. The BJP, remember, had a 303 rifle that they were firing last time. This time it's 304. So it's not Mission 370. That's his rallying war cry. They're not there yet. 304 is where they stand. 71 is where the Congress stands, which is up 19 from the last time. Remember, there are gains in states like Telangana, which are helping the Congress do better than it did last time. Others at this moment are at 168, down 20. So that's where it stands. Prime Minister Modi very comfortably placed to be PM once more, which is why Raj Chingappa and his team are saying it's get set for a hat-trick.
Raj, you want to give us what your headline is? What is it hat-trick? Is it the Modi momentum? What is it?
It is set for a hat-trick.
So is it about Modi? Is it about the BJP? How do you see it? I see your cover has Mr. Modi imperiously walking
down. So we're calling it heading for a hat-trick. But let's, just for a moment look at the figures that are there.
Yes.
I mean, it's commendable that Mr. Modi in his 10th year is able to deliver the kind of numbers to the BJP and the NDA. And look at the term that he does it. In the second term, I mean, every world leader was under pressure, put on the mat. There was a once-in-a-century pandemic that was there. You had a complete collapse of the economy. You had the Chinese intrusion coming in. You had two wars, the Gaza and Ukraine war that pushed up inflation. Everything that could go wrong goes wrong. And yet, when we see at the end of 10 years, Mr. Modi is not only shining, but is up there in the league of greatness, possibly statesmanship that is happening. So I think we have to give him credit for what is it. Now, whether he's going to beat the record of Nehru, that has to be seen, but the polls indicate that. Whether he will beat the record of Rajiv Gandhi in 1984, that is to be seen, because 400 at the moment from what we took in these last 3 years, 3 or 4 bellwether states, the NDA seems to be holding, but not really catching up to the 370 that Mr. Modi wanted. I think what we will see in the next 2 months, there will be, I believe, because the way it is trending, and I studied what we did in 2014, when Dr. Manmohan Singh was aspiring and the Congress party was aspiring for a third term. If you looked at our Mood of the Nation poll at that time, in January 2014, the Congress was down to 100, and the UPA was down to 122 seats. And the BJP, the trend line was that the NDA and the BJP was going to win it. Here, it's just the opposite. The ruling dispensation is doing it. So I would think that we are going to see a Modi wave, because they can only get better from here. They seem to have equaled what they've done, and we're going to see this huge movement. There are caveats, which...
We will come to the caveats in a moment, but is that how you see it? The big takeaway is the BJP has consolidated, holding its own. If anything, Yashwant Deshmukh, it could go up, possibly in the next 2 months, depending on the nature of the campaign, the kind of momentum that you tend to get, that the winner gets a kind of bandwagon effect.
Well, bandwagon or not, I've explained the relative turnout thing, which I think will be a very decisive factor, because I believe within the same vote share and sphere, just the higher relative turnout will give BJP extra 2-3 point jump, just by virtue of being able organizationally and resourcefully taking the supporter from their home to the polling booth. Out of that, having said that, you all know that from the seat projection perspective, I am a very, very conservative pollster. For what Raj is indicating, what Amitabh is indicating, probably is, they are poking me that, Yashwant, this is the starting block. And I agree to that, because when I look into the gap of 20% vote share for the BJP, Rajdeep, it's like it is likely to end up a complete sweep in many of the states where marginally I have probability-wise given 2 or 3 seats to the others. So if you look into the 335, it can easily be 350 just by taking into the other sweeping stakes of the BJP.
So is there any caveat at all, Rahul Verma? Is there an inevitability of the outcome, as I said, where the question now remains whether the BJP is where Yashwant has pegged them at 303, NDA at 335, or does the BJP go up to 340, 350, NDA 370, 380? Are these the only two scenarios you see, or is there a possibility of a 2004 miracle that the opposition is holding on to?
In Indian politics, there is always possibility, but the other term I'll use is probability. The probability of this now turning in a reverse direction is very, very low. And see what is happening in some ways, just to sort of like add to what Rahul was saying. PM Nehru in his successive elections, 52, 57, 62, Congress vote share did not improve. What is happening with BJP, 31, 37, and now projected is 40, 3 months ahead of election. And given if it's a conservative estimate, BJP being an organizational party can actually pick up more votes. With that kind of vote difference, the seat translation is going to be heavy. And second point, Congress is holding on to its 18% vote share and 70 seats because of its perhaps performance in Telangana and states like that. And we don't know what would conspire in some of these states. If BJP ties up with, say, BRS, Telangana seat tally might change.
What happens to the Congress party, Rashid Kidwai? 3 consecutive defeats, 15 years out of power. And while they may get 70 seats as per our poll, that could even come down to 40, 50 if the BJP goes up by 2030. Where does that leave the Congress party? Can it hold together with a third debacle?
Yeah. I think, Rajdeep, it may sound a bit odd and bizarre, but the Congress would be very happy to know Yashwant Deshmukh's, finding and mood of the nation that Congress is getting 71 Lok Sabha seats. It will give them a formal position of leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha. Remember, Congress is very easily satisfied party, and that's the one reason why it is going down. On the other side, when Bharat Jodo Yatra, and this is a very big lesson for Rahul Gandhi, when Bharat Jodo Yatra was started in first phase, it was thought that with that yatra, Rahul Gandhi Congress would be able to increase, its vote percentage by 3 to 4%. They were actually hoping for 25%. So it's a very bad news that Congress is not getting vote percentage, no increase in vote percentage. I think individually in states, there will be breakaway Congress factions because nobody wants to be in opposition forever.
Amitabh, your big takeaway from these numbers, clearly it shows 2 months before the election, perhaps, as I said, more than any other election, a dead certainty as to who the winner is. I can only compare it with January 2019. January 2019, which is the best comparison to make, the Congress had just won 3 states in North India, and the poll suggested a tightening of the contest. The India Today mood of the nation actually suggested a tightening of the contest.
A coalition government for the NDA.
A potential coalition government for the NDA. Now we are seeing a clear majority for the BJP. What's your big takeaway? Is Indian politics heading towards some kind of a dominant party system, or is it about Prime Minister Modi being this domineering leader?
So BJP is, of course, attaining the pole position which Congress used to acquire during the 1950s to 1990s. At that point of time, Congress was competing mostly against regional parties. Here we have BJP competing mostly against regional parties because regional parties tally is 168 seats. BJP is increasing its vote share. Congress is holding on to its vote share, and all its gains are coming at the cost of regional parties.
In fact, the story, Rahul, for me is once again that remember 186 seats, roughly 186 seats, direct contest in 2019, Congress versus BJP. Congress won just 12. BJP won most of those seats by double digits. Nothing has changed. It's almost as if the Congress is where it is, comatose in a way electorally, and the BJP is growing. And
because they're not listening.
And the other factor, which is also in a way worrying, is the North-South divide. The BJP dominating North India, dominating West India, doing even very well in the East. It's only the South which seems to be marching to its own beat. And I wonder what the implications of that will be long term.
If the Congress had any good sense, and I'm not at this moment certain that the people who do are looking so obsessively at this election in the way that the BJP is, they should sit into a room, Messrs. Kharge, Rahul Gandhi, Uddhav Thackeray, Sharad Pawar and say, let's thrash out the Maharashtra seat sharing formula before we leave. Sit from morning till evening, go seat by seat, thrash it out, compromise, and do the same for Telangana. Figure out who your candidates are, get on the ground. Instead of just spattering your ammunition all over the place, focus on their... No, but they're not even invited, Rashid. That's the problem. Each of those leaders are saying...
Because Rahul Gandhi is there, so they need to...
But what is more important? Sitting and fighting and trying to win the few seats you have an opportunity of winning, or this yatra which only seems to be causing trouble?
Can I make an even more controversial point?
Which is what?
If I was the opposition today and I saw your numbers and the mood of the nation and all of us predicting the inevitability or the probability of the outcome, I would actually see one opportunity, and that is focus on state elections. There are going to be, look, there's a Lok Sabha election which the outcome seems inevitable. It's about whether...
No, but you cannot, if you're in the opposition, you cannot take it as inevitable. You have to fight the election.
No, you have to fight. That's why I said it's a contentious point. I have 100 rupees in my pocket. I would put at least 80 rupees of that into state elections. There's Haryana, there's Maharashtra, there's Jharkhand, there's Bihar next year, then there's a series of other elections. Look, in the Lok Sabha, you can pick up, I'm only going by the mood of the nation, Rahul. You can pick up 20, 30 seats by what you're saying, better seat adjustments, do a little bit in Maharashtra, work out your numbers. You should do that. Of course you should. Every election has to be fought. But when I look at the priorities, my concern for this kind of opposition is that they seem to not even be able to get their act together often in state elections. Maharashtra is a good example. There's an election in Maharashtra in September, October. You win Maharashtra, you lift the morale. Imagine what happens if you lose Lok Sabha badly and then also you suffer a debacle in Maharashtra and Haryana. Eventually, and don't forget, Karnataka, the government could be on notice given the kind of numbers that we are showing. Telangana, the Congress has a small majority. So, the Congress Mukt Bharat or an opposition Mukt Bharat is in a way a reality if these numbers hold on. I would say focus on state elections, get your act together, and I agree with you. At the moment, you should be sitting across a table, working out seat sharing, working out some kind of plan. I don't see that, which is why I think Yashwant has underestimated the BJP. My numbers are, I did my own polling, 340 plus BJP, 370 plus ND Alliance. I'm not ruling out even a bigger number than that. Yeah. That's the way I see it. I believe that the opposition is totally despondent.
Rashid Kidwai, are we seeing a phenomena similar to what we saw during the Gujarat Assembly elections, where because of what Rajdeep is saying, because of what others in the opposition seem to be thinking, the opposition just gives up the fight? Like when I traveled through Gujarat in the last Assembly election, the opposition, the Congress wasn't even in the fight. AAP was trying to put up some fight. See, it's a self-perpetuating prophecy. If you don't fight, your opponents do even better. The BJP ended up with 154 out of 182. If the Congress had fought harder on every seat in every region, they may have done better. You give up the fight thinking, you take what Rajdeep is saying seriously, say because the opposition takes what he's saying very seriously. If they start taking what he's saying seriously and not fighting this Lok Sabha election and preparing for the Assembly election, jitna bura pitenge usse aur pit jayenge.
Too late hai, Rahul. Ye sab hota chahiye tha 6 mahine pehle.
You see, the biggest problem with this opposition in 2024 is there is no sense of ownership. There is regional parties and there is Congress. When you talk about Congress, there is an official AICC President Mallikarjun Kharge, and there is a Rahul Gandhi who represents the political leadership of the Congress. Now each person.
So what does Kharge represent then?
He's a Congress president, but he lacks that kind of political leadership. That's what I'm saying. There is no sense of ownership.
Not political leadership, political authority. He's not been given the political authority.
Can I just come in at this point? Take a look at the opposition. If, for instance, the Congress, if it had won one state in the north, Madhya Pradesh, where it was, anti-incumbency was clear. So it was so close to actually turning the election. Because if you go back in the year that's there, firstly you win Himachal in December, then you come back and win Karnataka, I'm talking last year. You have the India Alliance being formed at that particular point of view. You knew where your battles were. Okay. This is the difference between what the BJP does, which knows that these 3 seats were critical for them to get the momentum to win the Lok Sabha. Easily the story could have turned, and the mistakes the Congress started making.
Sanju Verma is with us and Radhika Khera is with us. Sanju Verma, to you first. I hope you've got some laddus and some mithai for Yashwant Deshmukh, Raj Chingappa, and everybody else over here, because it seems that the Prime Minister...
She won't give me?
She won't give you?
She won't give me mithai?
No, she just said you were doing a great job when you were trending. She should give you mithai also. Now, 304, after 10 years of being in power for the BJP, 335 for the NDA, you know, it seems no matter whether you get to 400 and 370 or not, the outcome of the next election seems to be heavily skewed in your favor.
Yeah, you know, Rahul and Rajdeep, there's this famous saying by Norman Vincent, if you shoot for the moon, you will at least land among the stars. So whether it's 370 or 400 or 335, what have you. Point number one, BJP is romping home with a massive majority all on its own. Point number two, you know, I remember that famous interview with Prashant Kishore a few days back, where Rajdeep kept asking him, what is the secret sauce around brand Modi? So I have something to say to the Congress. हम तो जीतेंगे ही, पर कांग्रेस के जो समर्थक हैं, ये ध्यान से सुनिए. जो जानकर भी अनजान बना रहे, उसे दर्द क्या बताना? जो जानकर भी अनजान बना रहे, उसे दर्द क्या बताना? अभी मगरूर है वो, खुद में उन्हें क्यों होश में लाना? अभी मगरूर है वो, खुद में उन्हें क्यों होश में लाना? एहसास तब होगा उन्हें जब छोड़ कर जाऊंगा. एहसास तब होगा उन्हें जब छोड़ कर जाऊंगा. फिर नहीं होगा मुमकिन मेरा लौट कर आना. फिर नहीं होगा मुमकिन मेरा लौट कर आना. The voters have time and again.
कौन छोड़ के जा रहा है?
अरे भाई साहब, वोटर्स ने छोड़ दिया है, but Rahul Gandhi refuses to look into the mirror and get a reality check. But now I will speak with hard numbers. Just bear with me for 20 seconds. Of course,
before you go on, you've thrown a poetic punch. Radhika Khera, I don't know how good your shairi is. She's thrown a poetic punch at you. That's a bit of a googly. Can you come back on the spur with a counter? Let's see. The numbers aren't favoring you, but let's see how good your shairi is. Go for it, Radhika.
I'm sure that these numbers are a disappointment for the Bharatiya Janata Party spokesperson, because their claims of ab ki baar 400 par have gone down over here itself in your survey. But coming back to that, I feel that surveys are not actually showing the true picture. The true picture is what I have here. I'm sorry, I don't believe in shairi and all, because we are not here for entertainment. And India Today is for talking about hard facts. Hard fact, today's newspaper, which says, Kisan karenge aaj Delhi ka coup. This is the reality of the country today. The reality of the country today is that our wrestlers were sitting outside protesting, and what were they given in return of the protest? Lathia. The reality is that the entire country is reeling under inflation, unemployment, poor law and order. While Modi ji goes and pats himself on the back, I did not speak in between.
Sanju Verma, you must allow her to speak. No, please put down Sanju Verma's voice. You must allow her to speak.
We are a democratic country, and India Today is a democratic channel where you cannot mute my mic and you will let me speak. You cannot control the opposition over here. Well, coming back, the country is watching how over 100 parliamentarians were suspended for parliament because they were raising their voice. Country is watching everything. Country is watching how governments are being brought down, being scared by the ED. Parties are being broken down and new fractions are being become. Country is watching everything. Yes, there have been disappointments that we've had in the recent elections in Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, but all surveys were predicting that Congress was winning Chhattisgarh. And Rajdeep, you even visited Chhattisgarh. The mood of Chhattisgarh was absolutely different on the ground. But something else happened. So I don't think that
So I want to go back to Sanju Verma. Sanju, you know, while the overall picture is very rosy, or should I say there are lots of lotuses in the overall national picture, and they're blooming, Maharashtra is a concern, Telangana is a concern, having an alliance in Andhra Pradesh, potentially even Punjab is a concern. And the way that the BJP has been operating, my sense is that they may be looking at these states where they're not doing well and trying to double down and figure out how to make the tactical arrangements to do well here.
You know, I will answer your question, and now I hope the courtesy will be extended to me. Ruling party के प्रवक्ता का mic mute नहीं किया जाएगा. You know, Radhika Khera, I agree with her on one thing. She said this is a serious channel. We are not here for entertainment. I completely agree. Entertainment तो राहुल गांधी दे रहे हैं, भरपूर entertainment as part of his भारत जोड़ो न्याय यात्रा. Then he says, स्टव में कोयला डालो और स्टव जल जाता. I thought that the stove runs on kerosene or fuel. For the first time, I learned that the stove runs on coal. So please, don't sit here and give me your half-baked knowledge. Now I will come to the hard facts. Rahul, I will not even talk about what, Mr. Arun Puri said in August 2023, These are famous quotes of his, which I really love reading them all over again on every debate. In August 2023, after your then Mood of the Nation poll, he said, Narendra Modi has pulled off what few leaders have. He has banished the universal factor of anti-incumbency. Narendra Modi's popularity rankings defy the law of gravity. I'm quoting Mr. Arun Puri ad verbatim. And I'll tell you why, jahan Narendra Modi khade ho jate hain, wahi se line shuru ho jati hai, because we had votes or number of seats at 17.6 crore in Lok Sabha 2014. People said, this was just happenstance. We got the number of seats, winning seats at 23 crore votes. 23 crore people voted for Narendra Modi in 2019, which means there was a 31% increase in our winnable seats between 2014 and 2019. Now, I am not even going to assume that BJP will see a 3% uptick in its vote share from 37 to 40%, as Rahul said. Let us assume that the vote share continues to remain at 37%. It does not rise to 40%. I'm being conservative, despite being an Andh Bhakt and a Modi Bhakt. Despite having a vote share at just 37%, just going by past track record, if you extrapolate the numbers, you will see 30 crore people voting for BJP, assuming a 31% rise in number of seats. And if you assume just a 15%
so you made that point, ma'am. I want to go across the table, ask Amitabh, what could be the X factors from here? We're in the beginning of February. We've got March still to go and then elections in April, May. What could change? Good, bad for both the opposition and the government?
See, X factors for the BJP clearly is the mood of the neutral or the undecided voters from now on, because BJP clearly has the momentum. The numbers are very strong for BJP. 335 NDA means if you add the reverses in Maharashtra and Bihar, which is 25 seats itself, 360. Plus you have a new ally from Andhra Pradesh, possibly 17 seats, 377. So mission 400 or 370 is not impossible. That's number one. This is largely predicated on the image of Prime Minister Modi. So if there is a black swan event which dents the popularity of Modi, that is the only event which could probably tilt the numbers in favor of the opposition. It's all about Modi, his popularity. He is getting the votes for the BJP, and he is the difference between the
But this is an important point, Rachingappa, that it's essentially no matter who thinks what of it, the fact is, and you can quantify this, and we'll do this tomorrow, but if the BJP is winning in the way that it is, it's because of one man. And what this country thinks of one man, what anybody on this panel thinks of that man is inconsequential. The voters who we've spoken to would like Prime Minister Modi back. They have a direct connect with him. They have faith in him. They trust him. They want him back.
Well, let's call it brand Modi. That is really a phenomenon that has happened. And just looking at what Amitabh said, even in adversity, he comes out the winner. You had Pulwama, which is a black swan sort of event that happened in the thick of election. He converts that into a great opportunity. Take a look at his second term. Each of these things, COVID, he's first castigated. Our polls itself show that it goes down, comes back, with a bang, make sure that the economy is growing, takes care of the people on one side. Then let's also look at I think there are a couple of qualities we have to look at Mr. Modi. Decisive leadership. Article 370 goes. Early in the tenure that is there. Ram Temple, built at terrific speed. The Parliament House built it. Women's Reservation Bill put there. So you are seeing, if you take a look at some of the characteristics of leadership, vision, he has it. He's not only showing a vision for these next 5 years, he's looking, many people could say, well, that's, really pushing the target too far. But he's giving a nation, an aspiring nation, a road to development. And I think that's very important. So he's able to balance the Hindutva sentiment, which is the cultural sentiment that you want, or the soul of the nation, with pragmatic governance, decisive leadership, and this quality that he demonstrates in terms of welfareism as well. So he's taken all the planks of the opposition, appropriated all of them, made it his own, and has really, that is why you're seeing the kind of results you're seeing.
And he's building, Rajdeep, a new republic, whether anybody likes it or not. Very different from the Nehruvian idea of India in the last 10 years, and he'll cement it in the next 5 if these numbers are correct. He has, in front of our eyes, built a new India.
Look, as I said, the Prime Minister is a consummate politician, and it isn't easy to hold on to your popularity over an extended period of time, particularly when you've gone through several black swan events over the last decade. That is a given. You know, I like to use sort of M factors, and I'm going to give you 7, each of which I think it's not just Mr. Modi's secret sauce. I put Mr. Modi at the top. I put machine. The BJP is a machine. And the machine...
No, they built a machine. You mean machine, you think like it's a machine lying on the ground. Anybody can do a machine. They built a machine.
Of course they built a machine, but the machine has various aspects to it. The machine knows how to use state power. It will know where, you know, when to corner the opposition.
So did the Congress when they were in opposition. So did the Congress.
Sure, of course.
But the Congress didn't build the structure that the BJP has built.
When you say that, you know, Mr. Modi is building a new republic, I just want to give the elements, I think, that are important as to why is he still winning. There's Prime Minister Modi, consummate politician, knows how to use power. There's the machine of the BJP, the RSS, the Sangh Parivar. There's the message. The message, interestingly, look at Mr. Modi's message in the last month since Ram Mandir. He's not focusing on Mandir, he's focusing on Viksit Bharat, talking about infrastructure projects, talking about Amrit Kal. Cleverly knows how to change the goalposts. This is over, let's move on to the next. So the opposition doesn't know what will come next. Number 3. Number 4 is money. Let's be honest, Indian elections, the oxygen of Indian elections are increasingly money. The BJP dominates that space like no other party has done. The Congress may be in its pomp, but that time, you know, the opposition was much weaker.
No, but that time the Congress leaders, many of them pocketed the money themselves. There's different structure they are getting for the machine. A lot of the Congress leaders, and you know this well, pocketed.
It's not as if in Maharashtra we don't have khoke ki rajniti. Let's not say that.
No, but institutional corruption in the manner in which there was under the UPA, that's not the case.
The jury is out on that, but I'm willing to concede that the Prime Minister has made it, ensured that the party comes first at the very top. Not in the case of the Congress, individuals came ahead of the party. Then you have Mandir. I think as the survey is also going to show, Ram Mandir has taken the Prime Minister's own popularity to another level. That's where it comes that, you know, you're crafting a new ideological republic in a way, moving away from the Nehruvian idea to a new idea of a new republic. Who knows, uniform civil code comes next. Then, and I think this is crucial, you have the Mahagathbandhan. You see, you're as good as your opposition is. If you're playing a terrible opposition, which is so badly divided, which has really made no effort to actually build on the weaknesses of the government. It's not as if the government doesn't have weaknesses. Unemployment is a problem. Our survey also shows that. What have you done to build it? You have had 4 meetings of the India Alliance, all in 5-star hotels, or 3 of them in 5-star hotels, 1 in Patna where Nitish Kumar, your convener, has gone. You made no effort to capitalize when COVID management was going wrong, to build a kind of consensus. We need change. You've not offered me a leadership or a narrative to combat Modi. I think that's an important element. You're as good as your opposition is. Finally, and I know, Rahul, this is contentious, the media. Let's be honest, no one has dominated the media space quite like Mr. Modi is. So we've never really questioned, for example, the misuse of the ED in the way that it should be. The poll also shows a number of Indians believe the ED is being misused. So I think Mr. Modi is Teflon-like. All of this comes together to make him almost impregnable, pregnable. And I think, you know, credit to him. It's not easy in today's world to be as popular in 2024 as you were in 2014.
More popular,
you can say, but it's a combination of various factors. Your popularity is also dependent on how unpopular the other side is.
No, but that's not Modi's fault.
It's not.
If his opponents don't know how to bat and bowl, how can you blame Modi for that?
Rahul, who's blaming Modi? I'm giving the reasonings. The reasoning is the opposition in the last 10 years has had opportunities. Demonetization was an opportunity. COVID was an opportunity. You had the chance to question the government in a serious manner. As this poll is showing, the regional parties are holding on to their own. But the Congress has been unable to rediscover itself. So the question will also have to be asked on Rahul Gandhi's leadership at some stage. Surely,
Yes.
This poll, how long is the Congress going to sort of protect him?
I think the biggest problem that the opposition is facing is a face. You know, who Modi versus who? Is it Mallikarjun Kharge? Is it Rahul Gandhi? Is it Mamata Banerjee? Is it Arvind Kejriwal? So people have no idea. Is it MK Stalin? Is it some other, chief minister? So, nobody knows. So therefore, Mr. Modi is having it, very easy. And the survey is indicating at that. If there was a face, if there was a, sort of caste affiliation, if there was issues, talking points attached to it, perhaps the outcome may not have been very different, but there would have been something like 2019-like situation.
Is he invincible? I mean,
at this point of time,
can we say that Mr. Modi is invincible? Could the opposition have done anything better to change the mood of the nation?
Maybe a better word is unstoppable.
Yes.
What could it have done?
There is always a possibility, but I think of politics structurally. And the nature of politics is such that opposition does not have many chances. To use a cricket analogy, if, say, Tendulkar or Virat Kohli is in full form, no matter you bowl a Yorker or you bowl a sort of like, a googly and spin, they will hit you.
But Tendulkar has got gold, Modi has never got gold.
This is why leaders are important. But think of 50s and 60s politics. Was there no leaders in opposition? There was Lohia and other things. Could they challenge Nehru and Congress party? No, because in political time, now you counted 7 things. Everything is in favor of BJP, right? So at the moment, I don't think like there is any X factor. The only X factor could be that we have no sense of what's happening on the ground. People have made up different mind and they are telling something else. So at the moment, everything is aligned in favor of BJP.
Here's what I wish to say. Let's just zoom out for a moment and think of the larger picture in a more historical perspective. I was at the Pran Pratishtha of the Ram Mandir at Ayodhya, where while Prime Minister Modi was being introduced, he was linked to Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, is the ideal Hindu king, who at that time, really demonstrated all the virtues that good Indian kings should have. So he's kind of being projected in a historical arc in that same kind of weight category. Rahul Verma, is there any contemporary political figure who comes to your mind who 10 years on, not just in India because there's no comparison here, but even internationally, 10 years after being in power, manages to increase his party's vote share by 3%. Go back in time. Who comes to your mind?
Can I make someone who can?
Yeah, who?
We often tend to, since Nehru is still in the news. Remember, Nehru in the early 60s was a weakened prime minister. The war with China, despite that, won. Please understand.
No, but his vote share kept coming down. But his vote share in the years that he was in power, the Congress kept losing ground, the BJP is gaining ground. And there was no opposition.
But where is the opposition today?
That's what I'm saying.
Where is the opposition today?
There was no opposition.
Where is the opposition? I would only like to, since you asked, I think only Nehru can be compared.
Rahul Verma, okay, so you've got Nehru, Modi punching in the...
From a party who got us independence, that kind of goodwill to Congress party after 47, with all the heavyweights of our freedom struggle on the Congress side, let's be very, very honest, the 52-53 mandate was not Mr. Nehru's mandate.
62 I'm talking about.
62, yes. But the vote share dipped. Vote share dipped a lot.
No, but by then his actions
goes up in 57.
But in 62 and after that, he's being punished for his actions. The people in India at this moment are rewarding Modi and the BJP for what they are seeing, far from punishing. Let's spend some time on this. Historically, who comes to your mind? Yashwant Deshmukh?
No, nobody. I mean, nearest that from the... and one point which I wanted to make, where I can probably answer your question, is the hunger to win and willingness to work 24/7 to let that happen. And that thing, only person which comes to my mind is Mrs. Indira Gandhi.
Yes.
Besides that, no other prime minister in India had a hunger to win.
I'm not restricting this conversation, Raj Chingappa, to India. Raj Chingappa, in a historical context, who comes to your mind? Somebody democratically elected.
Only an authoritarian leader who knows how to fix, who knows how to fix the mandate across the world.
How is he fixing the mandate?
No, I'm not talking about Modi. I'm talking the only. When you say, give me an example parallelly. There are democratic countries where you will have the likes of a Putin in Russia and Erdogan in Turkey, who will know how to, in a way, manage the mandate.
Erdogan had a very tough fight. He won with 6 percentage points.
In a relatively free and fair system like ours, to do it over 3 elections with your popularity increasing, I think makes Prime Minister Modi sui generis.
You look at Algeria, where there was, this thing that Burj Khalifa, when Nehru was there, then I went with Hamid Ansari, he was still Prime Minister.
Yeah, but let's not compare Algeria with India. I think, Rahul, you make a very good point. In a democratic society like ours, with all the pulls and pressures, as we are seeing in our poll, South India having a very different politics, states like Maharashtra, Bihar, Bengal, Karnataka looking tough for a while. I think Mr. Modi has done the remarkable job of holding his popularity. I will only say this, and I think this is an important point that we need to make. While we talk of the invincibility of the Prime Minister, and I think CSDS's post-poll in 2019 showed 1 out of every 3 voters voted for the BJP because of Prime Minister Modi. The BJP itself
Is not invincible.
He's not invincible. That's why I made the slightly controversial point that if I was the opposition, I would focus on states. When Mr. Modi is not on the ticket, the BJP is weakened. You want a strategy for the future? Start from the states. The problem is you're going to make this, the India Alliance has come into this 2024 election with no clue of how they want to face up to Mr.
Just
Modi.
to remind the viewers, Rahul, once and again, we are so damn focused on 14, 19 and probability of 24 that we are forgetting the fact that BJP as a party has lost 50% of the elections in this country in the last 10 years. 50%.
Yeah.
So invincibility of Mr. Modi as an individual which the BJP is benefiting from is not exactly the invincibility of the BJP. Number one. Number two, yes, I concede and I understand being a conservative pollster, this is probably the starting block of BJP and the NDA. And majority of our polling was happened before the Ayodhya Pran Pratishtha. That impact has to come in, and with the way they are looking out for alliance partners and the way they are going about it, this can only go up. Having said that, if you will ask me if there is any, I don't see a black swan because nobody can predict a black swan, but one red flag, that is the complacency factor. Complacency factor was the factor which caused them.
Are they looking complacent to you?
No, they are not. But 2004, urban areas, the turnout dropped by 18%, and that caused
Modi
the
is no
BJP.
Vajpayee.
That's precisely what I was trying to say. They have learned their lessons pretty hard, and neither
Also,
Modi
there
is
is a very-
Can I give you a very
nor
interesting
Mr.
anecdote now?
Bhagwat is Mr. Sudarshan.
Sure.
Both the factors are remaining.
Can I give you a very interesting anecdote? Just this morning, I was told by an MP, Parliament has been extended by a day. The BJP is going to put out a white paper on what the Congress did over 10 years. क्या जरूरत है अगर 300 सीट मिल रहे हैं? What to put white paper? लगता है desperate है. मैंने कहा desperate नहीं है. They want to take that 320, 330 that the mood of the nation is good because he wanted to know the numbers. 320, 330 to 370, 375. एक दिन भी नहीं छोड़ना है Parliament का. If we can get an extra Saturday in, where all the TV channels for 7-8 hours will talk about this white paper, keep the mahal going. So there is no complacency. On the other hand, it's like a team which has scored 350 runs is sure to win. But things, last 10 overs, all 100 run करके 450 जाते हैं.
Amitabh Tiwari, look at how this 400 par is seeping into the psyche of the opposition. The Congress guests we had today, even Kharge ji in Parliament, they are referring to 400 par. They should be dissing the idea of that. It's like you have the most, forget ideology for a moment, you have the most competent practitioner of the political craft up against the most inept practitioners of politics in the Congress.
You are right.
That is why when you
Rahul,
have them go head to head.
What Modi did, sorry, Raj, just
a quick point. I think one, when you look at what he's done in terms of 370 and 400 for the NDA, he's addressing what the concerns Yashwant was talking about. He has pushed the bar even further, higher and better. So, and today you feel he's getting 303 and he shouldn't be getting 400.
No, but you heard what Rashid said. The second point. Congress will be happy with this.
The second point I would like to make. Ek chota sa point.
Yes.
You see that Congress thinks that if India Today and Yashwant Deshmukh are saying 71, it means Congress is well past 100 seats.
That's how they're thinking.
Yeah.
No, I just have a quick addition to this one. You were asking about who else would you go. I think Mr. Modi is in a league of his own. And
internationally.
Internationally, yes. And see, we are the world's largest democracy. I think we have produced great leaders.
Precisely.
You may not agree with Nehru or what he did. Come at the hour, it was Nehru. Come at the hour, this time, it was Modi. And I think we must, in many sense, commend that rather than bring comparisons Indira Gandhi.
No, so Nehru is one comparison. I'm saying go internationally, Raj, with all the expertise and experience.
You see, there, you could get other kinds of leaders who had just held on to power.
In the recent power, probably
you can't have any comparison with American presidents because they have to give up their terms in two terms. You might end up with a Putin, Erdogan, and all those. These are not the kind of leaders you'd like to match this. Or even Xi Jinping, the other side, right? He's also there, but of course a completely different system. So if you really look in terms of democratic nations, as I said, he's in a league of his own. I don't think we need to bring comparisons. Here's a person, as Rajdeep described, we had talked of leadership. We have to appreciate that. May like him, may not like him. There is something about him that is, converted a nation of 1.6.
I think, again, I completely agree with Raj, and just to add to him, see, what sets Modi apart from everyone, that see, Nehru inherited a party and an organization. Modi also inherited. But BJP was not present in many parts of India as a strong force. What Modi has done in these 10 years has put the party on map in eastern India. In many states where they were in single digit are now running governments, right? So what he has done electorally has basically created that machine which was there, maybe using all kinds of things. But now BJP is a very, very formidable and unparalleled election machine in contemporary politics across the globe.
Can I add,
I think that is one of his biggest
across the globe,
Yeah, you know, can I add two more M's? Interesting. One is middle class. I remember Arun Jaitley telling me this 10 years. He says, as India becomes more and more middle-class country, he believed that the BJP was there at the right place, right tap, to capture on the energies of this middle class. I believe post-1991, ironically, the Congress party didn't capitalize on the zeitgeist of this new India. They went in the other direction when they should have actually taken credit for Manmohanomics, built this middle-class constituency. Look at across urban India, and as India gets more and more urbanized, look at BJP's performance across urban areas. Mr. Modi is popular in both rural and urban. We forget the Labharti scheme and the impact that has had, direct benefit transfer, using it to put money in people's hands. But I think middle class has become a core constituency of the BJP, and they've built around that. And whether we like it or not, it may be the elephant in the room to some majoritarianism. Particularly in North India, there is a sense of a Hindu majority. The point you made, a new republic, somewhere it's the Hindu assertion. That also is a major factor. When I add Labharti and Hindu assertion, I don't think you can win an election.
But which government in the past, Rajdeep, has spoken of making India a developed country and set a timeline for it? Sure. And actually then mobilize the will and try to build the circumstances which allow us to move in that direction. This is the only other government that I know.
Rahul, I want to only put one small caveat, which is there are areas of darkness in this country. Let's be honest. Whether it's the ethnic
but there are areas of darkness in the United States. There are areas of darkness in Europe.
Rahul, just as I believe the middle class has arrived, unemployment is a serious crisis. It's going to get worse in the era of automation. And education systems will not be able to match what the new market needs. I just think let's not say that we've reached there.
No,
Mr. Modi is offering a dream. Mr. Modi is offering a dream.
And making the effort to achieve that dream.
He's offering a dream.
He's offering a vision, and he's making the effort to take us in that direction. So it's not as if he's sitting on his laurels.
But then aspiration is not just middle class, Rajdeep. Middle class is like 50 shades of grey. Anybody who is not in BPL family is a middle class. Okay. So from lower middle class to middle class to the higher middle class, it's an aspirational class. And he is a person who is showing a vision and a dream that, okay, you are maybe suffering, but what the India which I'm trying to make will be a great India for your kids, your grandchildren.
And he's working towards that. But then tell me, if this was also perfect, the double engine, as we saw in certain states, doesn't work. I think India is too complicated to reduce it to, Modi's captured the attention of all of India in every election. That's why he's captured it in a presidential style. In elections, increasingly are presidential at the national level. Mera leader kaun hoga? Mera prime minister kaun hoga? Mr. Modi, with his consummate ability as a communicator, and the point I keep making, Rahul, which Prashant Kishore also now makes, Mr. Modi's been around 50 years in politics. He's seen various, these black swan events, you're able to conquer sometimes through your past experience. It's like a journalist. If you've been 40 years, we can do live program. Pehle saal, it was a struggle. Mr. Modi's been there. He's done the hard yards. Let's give him credit.
He's been in power since 2002.
He's been in power for 22 years, and that gives him experience of hand. On the other side,
he's become elite.
You've got regional leaders who've been stuck in their states. I think one of Mr. Modi's major achievements is from Gujarat Chief Minister. When he became Gujarat Chief Minister, we thought, ye kaise banega, RSS ka aadmi hai, has no experience in governance. When he becomes Prime Minister, we said, yeah, Prime Minister kaise banega?
You said.
Look, no, one minute. I will say this, and I have proof. Mr. Javed Akhtar, at a dinner in 2012, 1 week after Modi won Gujarat a third time, he said, yaar, kya lagta hai, Modi ji aayenge center pe? To maine kaha, hai, I think Modi ji will come to the center. I think he will win the elections. 2012 December, before he tilted. He said, nahi, he is haunted by 2002, nahi ho sakta hai. I said, sir, there comes a time when a person can sort of go beyond his sort of past to the future. So I will not take that, but I will say this, that he surprised people. I would certainly.
And he continues to surprise people.
He continues to surprise.
And he continues to surprise the same people who never cease to be surprised. But that's a different matter.
That's a good line. That's a good line.
No, but it's true. It's true.
That's
true. The thing is that, see, the matter of fact is that he works hard. And I think pretty much, and I've said this to Raj, that, you know, as one of my physics professors, he never used to give us marks on the final answer of the numericals. He used to give us the marks on what did we attempt. Dimag lagaya ki nahi lagaya, koshish ki nahi ki. I think Indian voters are coming to an age where they want to see the leaders make an effort. If you make an effort, they are even willing to own up your failures. See how people have owned up his demonetization failure. Okay. People, majority of them say, galat tha, lekin sahi niyat se kiya.
Okay. Now, so we are out of time. We are out of time. We need to finish.
There are two politicians which are fascinating in that sense, using this effort point. One is Mr. Modi, one in a very different way, Naveen Patnaik. 25 years, never lost, and you ask people, nahi sir, koshish kar raha hai. You see, Indian voters, he's right, want to reward well-intentioned.
Okay, so we are out of time. We need to wrap up. Rajdeep?
No, Rahul, just one little point. I think it's more than just try. Modi delivers. He has demonstrated that on time also. Whether it is building a parliament building, getting things done, he makes sure. That is the culture change.
And also remember that at the end of 10 years, Dr. Manmohan Singh, with no disrespect to him, was completely tired. The government was just coming apart. Even Vajpayee ji, at the end of his 6 years, was very tired. He had to say, na tired, na retired. But, you know, the government wasn't energetic. Prime Minister Modi continues to stay as energetic, as pumped up, where people around, and I've seen younger officers, much younger than him, you know, and at New York, at the yoga day, I asked one young officer in his team, "Arey, tum kyun nahi kar rahe?" "Arey, nahi, unme zyada energy, hum mein kam." So, you know, that's like people half his age. Okay, so Rajdeep, before we wrap up, if you were Modi, what song would you be singing tonight?
What's that song that Shah Rukh Khan had? Number one.
I don't expect me to know.
What is
Does
the song?
anybody else know?
I'm the best. I'm the best.
I'm the best.
I'm the best. Koi hero yahan, koi zero yahan. I'm the best. Look,
If you're Rahul Gandhi, what song are you singing tonight?
You know, you're putting me in trouble because
I know that.
Ye kya hua, kab hua, kaise hua. Look, there are lots of songs. But look, seriously, I hope for the
Rashid
sake...
has another song.
Can I though say something? For the sake of Indian...
Okay, Amitabh Tiwari, 1 second.
अपना टाइम आएगा अरे भाई एडवाइजर्स बता रहे हैं उसको यही अपना टाइम आएगा
Rahul, he sounded like Virendra Yadav.
Look, let's not rule out anything.
Like Virendra Yadav.
Who? He is saying Rahul Gandhi thinks apna time aayega.
नहीं, Rahul Gandhi is being advised कि अपना time आएगा.
Look, I hope for our sake of our democratic process and indeed for our television coverage, we have an exciting election. I hope that this mood of the nation doesn't result in most people believing up kyun dekhna hai.
No.
Jeetna to hai.
But
I hope we have a contest.
is that the reason he has given the shagufa of 360, 370 and 400? Because he might be feeling, Rajdeep bore ho raha hoga. Kuch naya do.
We're out of time.
You know, something
if you look at the numbers across social media, across digital, across television over the past 4 hours of programming, I can see that there is interest. So Rajdeep may be feeling slightly, there's no fun over here. There's a lot of excitement, buzz around the India story, a lot of excitement about the Bharat of the future and around these poll numbers as well. And I think that will continue through. So I think Rajdeep's earned his dinner, sung for his supper.
Sung for my supper. India has been modified, it appears, as per the mood of the nation. We'll wait and see what the voter really wants. This was simply a teaser to what might be lying ahead.
So day 2 tomorrow. Lot of detail on impact of Ayodhya, the impact of Nitish Kumar switching in Bihar, the performance report card of the Prime Minister, his government, the opposition, all that and more coming up in part 2 of the India Today Mood of the Nation all through the day tomorrow. So we'll see you again.
You're with the India Today Mood of the Nation biannual survey brought to you in partnership with Sea Voter, which has done this comprehensive nationwide survey at a time when all eyes are on the big question: who will win the general elections of 2024? That's the question that we're going to answer in a detailed manner this time, but not just the big picture. We'll be going state by state to bring you all the results you've been waiting for.
This is the last Mood of the Nation opinion poll before the general elections of 2024, which is what makes this that much more important, and so much rides on the results of this Mood of the Nation opinion poll. Let's introduce you to our guests who are going to join us over the next several hours as we bring you the results of the Mood of the Nation poll. I want to start by introducing Yashwant Deshmukh, lead cephalogist at Sea Voter. He's got this fancy Himachali cap on and has been working very hard over the last several weeks, and lots of changes, Rajdeep, in the chess drawing board, forcing revisions in the MOTN sample. So he's really been working doubly hard, not just because of us, but also because of all the changes that happen.
And there could be more changes within the next month. You know, change is the only constant.
Next month or tonight, tomorrow, there could be changes galore, and therefore we'll have to keep looking at these numbers very carefully. Flanking him is Raj Chingappa, editorial director at India Today magazine. He and his team have worked on compiling and dissecting the results of this poll, and you can read the analysis in the new issue of the magazine, which is out in stands now. We've got Amitabh Tiwari, who's joining us, political analyst, and to our left we've got Rahul Verma. Rashid Khidwai joins us, and we've got Sanjay Kumar from CSDS. So this is really as sharp a political panel as can be, and I'm discounting myself. And no, I'm keeping Rajdeep there, discounting myself, but a very sharp panel on this. So what we'll do for a moment is take you through the methodology adopted by Sea Voter for this poll, and then we'll go state by state in getting you the results of this poll. So this Mood of the Nation opinion poll was done between the 15th of December and the 28th of January. Largely, some polling happened later when there were specific changes like there were in Bihar, but largely between the 15th of December and the 28th of January. For this poll, the sample size was 35,801. But Sea Voter, as our viewers know by now, has a continuing tracker sample. So that adds 1,13,000 interviews to the Mood of the Nation sample, giving us a robust sample size of 1,49,000 for this sample and the tracker that's been going on between the 15th of August and the 31st of January. So there's a 3% plus minus margin of error at the micro level, and Yashwant claims he has a 95% confidence level. So that said, Rajdeep, let's now dive straight into the numbers for Uttar Pradesh.
Okay, let's go state by state, and we are starting with the state of Uttar Pradesh, because remember, generally it's believed all roads to Delhi lead through Lucknow. That certainly to some extent has been the case in 2014 and 19, given the domination that the BJP has had in the Hindi heartland. But let's take a look at what the Mood of the Nation poll is saying. First, let's take a look at vote share, because vote share will give you a sense of where the parties stand. And what we are predicting at the moment is a 52% vote share for the NDA, which means that the NDA is actually up from last time. They're even higher than they were in 2019 when they did remarkably well in that election. The India Alliance, and presumably this India Alliance includes the Congress, the SP and the RLD as of now. The RLD could well switch sides. Therefore, at the moment, they're at 36%, up 10% last time, but they have lost the BSP, which was in 2019 with the Samajwadi Party, and others 12%, primarily the Bahujan Samaj Party. But the key thing is, how does this translate into seats? That's the difficult task that Yashwant has undertaken. The seats, what would the seats be in the 80-member UP Assembly? And just take a look at that. The NDA goes up from 64 to 72 out of 80. It's a gain of 8. So NDA, BJP holding rock solid in the saffron heartland in a way. The India Alliance 6 to 8, so only a marginal increase, and that's divided between 1 for the Congress and 7 for the Samajwadi Party. Others are completely wiped out. The 10 last time were the BSP. So Rahul, the first big numbers clearly show the BJP holding its own in what's become its bastion.
And if the BJP is already at 72 in the way the state plays right now, Yashwant, the most important question is, now that RLD is very clearly in talks with the BJP, if Jayant Chaudhary was to join the NDA, where could that 72 reach?
Well, I mean, of course, it will impact minimum number of 2 seats for sure. But it's not just about how many seats that RLD is contesting and they are likely to win. It's also about the overall impact of the Jat voter consolidation in the entire Western UP, and not just Western UP, but across in other states which have a significant number of Jat voters. So that, having said that, Rahul, let me be upfront about this one. And me and Raj discussed this so many times about the numbers of